Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review, The Last of Us, Season 1, Episode 6, Kin. The recap, breakdown, and review commentary. We're going to break down this episode. I got to admit, I got a little teary-eyed in this one, Joe. I don't know how Joe's going to feel about this one. Another episode of The Last of Us as we go into the home stretch of Season 1. And so if you have any thoughts about this episode, please call on in 781-990-8509. You can also text that number or join all of the fun in the live. And we got Steph Snow, we got Richie, we got Lara, we got Rakes, we got Jackie, we got Slim, we got all of our good friends, and hopefully we'll have some other folks popping in and out tonight for this episode of The Last of Us. And here we go. This was a very long break between the last episode and this episode, just because the last one came out early on a Friday, so it felt extra long waiting for this particular episode. And I don't know, Joe and I don't talk about this beforehand, so I don't know if this is going to be a back and forth tonight or anything, but I like this episode. But this episode very much compounded my issue with the last two, and I don't want to dwell too much on the last two episodes tonight, but I enjoyed so much of the interaction with Ellie and Joel. I know we have 3 more episodes to go, but I would have liked a few more episodes that had this kind of feel with them bonding and the relationships that they're building. There's this one scene that we had in the middle of the episode where they're going back and forth, and they had this apex argument that ends up with her basically being like, "I'm not your daughter," and him yelling back like "Screw you, you're damn right you're not, get the hell out of there." I thought from what Joe has told me about Joel, he seemed more like that character tonight, talking more about what he had done in the past, the way he broke the guy's neck and stuff. And obviously this episode ends on a big cliffhanger with the stabbing. But of course, I'm not alone talking about this show. We have someone who actually knows what the fuck is happening, what the hell's going on. Joe Dirty Locks, welcome to the show, Joe.
Good to be here.
It's good to have you, buddy. How you doing tonight? What'd you think of tonight's episode of The Last of Us?
I don't know.
You haven't figured it out yet. We have to talk about it to get there?
I feel like it didn't fit with everything else I've seen because it was, or at least it felt foreign because I haven't seen a good episode in 3 weeks.
Okay, so you did like tonight's episode. You would just put 2 weeks. Oh yeah, I guess it's 2 weeks. The last 2 episodes you haven't really felt quite as much. So you did feel tonight's episode. It was just you were conflicted because you're still feeling like you have a little snuff still up in your uppagus from the last 2 episodes. You got a little hair across your balls still right now. So you're slightly distracted by the fact that tonight was excellent television. That was a good episode of TV. It was.
I really feel like it was a good episode. Well, as we get into it, I'm probably going to end up shitting all over it for some reason.
But that's what we do here. But I got.
Oh my goodness, I thought it was good.
Right, I emotionally was invested in it. I thought it was a slower episode in the sense of having action. But if we weren't coming off what we came from last episode, regardless of how we feel about half of it, I think we both agree that the big infected explosion at the end, the heart home infected explosion at the end was effectively done and raised the intensity. The problem that I had
as I mentioned to you earlier, I just finished my 3rd watch of last
Right, you rewatched. You hated last week's episode.
I rewatched it twice, so I've seen it 3 times now. But everything I said, I absolutely
you're doubling down. Okay,
I'm doubling down on everything I fucking said about last week.
Okay,
and I'll triple down on it. And I want to add something because you just brought up the hard home shit, and I know that in some of the comments in there from last week's episode, the comparison was good. But I was watching again. They said there was an awful lot of clickers down there, but those motherfuckers were all down there for 15 years. They said they drove them down into those tunnels 15 fucking years ago. They should have all been clickers or bloaters.
They didn't have the time to animate all of that. But anyways, Joe, I do think that tonight's episode was a lot of fun. The only thing that I wished at the beginning of this episode was that they did a time jump of some sort in between last week and this week, and it seemed like
Three months.
a lot of the bonding between the two of them happened in that 3 months, yada yada. So in this episode, they had a language with each other, which was really fun and really felt natural, and their chemistry seemed to grow, especially by the end of the episode where Joel is really embracing the father thing. But in that there was a 3 month gap that I wouldn't have minded if they're just adding episodes and adding stuff instead of the Kansas City thing. I would have liked another episode with them on the
Yes,
road,
one episode for Kansas City,
and then another
and
episode with
and
them on
then
the road.
and then before Kansas City, an episode of them on the road.
Right.
Yes,
And I also want to
absolutely.
bring up
And
that
that's what and why I'm like, I guess it was a good episode and it felt foreign is because that highlighted the need for another episode
the
like
episodes
this
like this, yeah,
before this.
these are really awesome because the two of them have excellent chemistry. Their acting was, both of them were really good in this episode, and I wanted Tommy was really good in this episode. Maria was really good in this episode too, and I thought it absolutely worked. The question as we have moving forward, and we're going to break apart this episode and talk about it. And like I said, I really liked this episode. I thought it was an awesome episode of television. It had a lot of emotional intensity. I love these character profile episodes that really brought together and focused on the relationship, the family elements of all of our characters involved. But next week is, and this is why I asked this particular poll question, which is with episode 6 done, and this is mainly a question for the people that have played the game, but also there's a response for people that haven't. Are 3 episodes enough to properly tell the story when next week's episode is apparently all of the DLC episode, the Left Behind DLC, and then so we actually have 2 more episodes for the remainder of the story of The Last of Us Game 1. And the questions are: yes, 9 episodes are perfect. No, they need more than 9 episodes, maybe, but it's going to be tight. Or fuck you, Phil. I didn't play the game, and screw you and your questions. So, Joe, where do you come in on this particular poll?
Okay, couple of points. In the game, they do these time jumps as well.
Right? They don't they do it seasonal in the game? It's
seasonal, yes, and like you get like a week in the season, right? Like so. With next week's being they were in this episode, they were able to cover a lot of the important parts of game cinematics, and like they took out some action. The town gets raided, Jackson gets raided, or the dam gets raided. The way they discover Tommy is different. Like there's small differences, but they cover a lot of it in this. So when we get this Left Behind content, I actually would have rather seen. I don't know. I'm already talking in the past tense here. I hope we get to see some of the time from Ellie that Joel's hurt, not just all that backstory and cutscenes from the Left Behind.
I'm assuming. Oh, you. So what you're hoping for is that next week's episode is the classic cut back between Joel and Ellie stuck in a cell somewhere, with her having vision flashbacks of the Left Behind stuff, intercut with a dynamic between Joel and Ellie in the episode, so that we actually see.
So Joel, his from the game. He doesn't get stabbed by this fucker. They fight and he falls off a balcony and he gets impaled.
Ow.
And they crawl out of the building, killing more guys on the way, and on the horse, and off they go. And then he's like dying in a fucking garage on the floor somewhere, or in a basement in the floor in the middle of winter, and she's off hunting rabbits, and we get a big chunk of story of her alone doing stuff.
Right.
And I hope we get to see this. And what they're probably going to do is chop that up with flashes of her Left Behind story as well. I don't know. Of course, everything I've said I'm hoping they do, is wrong.
Right. I
But
mean, we're just doing speculation coming off this episode from where from the timetable. So Jackson, this situation is in the game. It's just slightly different in the way that it's set up. Did you enjoy the swerve tonight? As we always talk about this. Did you enjoy the little the mix up of Joel not being impaled, being stabbed instead, and the change up of the Jackson situation?
um, the change up of the Jackson situation wasn't bad. They give you a little bit more of what Jackson looks like from game 2 than what it looks like in game 1. Um, the stab, my God. You know what I want to say about the stab, Phil? What do I
No.
want to say about the
I don't
stab,
know.
Phil?
What do you want to say? I'm curious.
Welcome to fucking trope, Phil.
Oh no! Here we
Right?
go.
Like you very obviously see the bat get broken, so you're not even thinking about the bat, right? Because it's the bat handle he gets stabbed with, like and like it's just
Here he is,
and
everyone.
like he does what he needs to do, and he kills the guy, and then you find out he's stabbed
Woo!
afterwards. Like, oh God, like come
It
on.
is. It's the hug stab. The hug stab is definitely one of them. Let's get into the live chat and hear what some people think. And we also have some voicemails. If you want to call in, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, you can call in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at the Issues Hotline, 781-990-8509. Let us know what you think, what you thought of this episode, whether you agree or disagree with what we say, and just to give us a nice hello. It's good to hear your voices on this Sunday night. But let's get into the live chat.
It's like who cares if he gets stabbed, right? Like who cares? Big deal. So he gets stabbed. Let him get stabbed. But you have to make it all like that TV fucking moment, right? Like oh he did it. But look, he's been wounded.
And I mean, they did it from the Ellie's eyes perspective, like just seeing it through her reaction to
After
it.
he kills the guy, you're wondering. Wait a second. It doesn't really look like she's looking at the dead body.
I mean, he didn't feel that too. He must have
And if you
adrenaline,
I bet
right?
if you kind of like rewatch and pay close attention, there'll probably be a moment right before he spins him to choke him out where he gets a look or some shit like that, which is why he spins him so quickly, violently, or whatever it is. But like, even still, you see Ellie staring in with this like look on her face, but it doesn't look like she's looking down at a dead body. She looks like she's looking at his, and then you see it like, yeah, so you get it from her. But still, it's just like when you see Henry get shot, you don't see Henry get shot.
They do cut away
They
from it.
cut straight to her face.
They do.
And her reaction to him shooting himself in the
That
head.
seems to be a device that this show has gone to enough times to call it a habit or something that they do cut away from the action a lot. They'll
and purposely put it to what Ellie's face is doing.
Yep.
They want you to feel
what
her
Ellie's feeling.
emotion.
Yep.
Like they don't want you to feel your own emotion as to what what just happened. It's going to be a bloody big but like
yeah,
they want you to see it.
As John Haymaker says, they did the same thing with Tess. Someone says it was adrenaline. Steph Snow says, I don't remember what happened in the game, so I'm confused about next week. Hendrick says, 0 chance they'll give this show justice in the amount of time/episodes.
Correct. I agree.
Jetpack Dino, which amazing name. I think that just flows real well. The guy in the horse with the bandana mask, I thought that was Troy Baker for a second, but maybe. I think he is in the show. I think he did get a cameo in the show. I think any of the voice actors that wanted them got them.
I think that probably was him.
It could have been him. John Haymaker ran a 5K run before he realized he was... Yeah, he ran a 5K run before he realized he was stabbed. Swinging that trope rope, as Steph says. Laura says, I liked it, just wish Tommy came along with them. Daywalker, always time for a sandwich, my friend. Kyle, father to the Bears, shouldn't have pulled it out. That's when you start bleeding. Joe.
And that's yes.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, is that the question?
He knows that. He knows, leave it the fuck in.
That's a TV trope too. Why does everyone always pull the knife out?
Right. At this point in his life, he's been around and like with all the things I've done and people I've murdered and times I've been shot at and shot back, all this fucking shit, right? and just being the coolest job of the fucking early 2000s.
I'm a contractor.
Right? He should know that on site when someone gets fucking impaled, you leave this shit.
See, Joe.
You leave that shit in.
Joe can't even handle it.
Yeah, you can't. It out. Yep.
You can't even. It definitely did not seem like the brightest moment for someone that has.
And it works in the game because he's impaled on.
There's no. Yeah, you have
he has to get off of in order to get out of the building or to get anywhere to get help or for the like. There's no.
Yeah, when you're
that can go with him. The pipe that he falls on that's attached to fucking other shit or table leg or whatever the fuck it is can't go with him in that moment.
When you get impaled, you don't have any choice. You have to get off that thing. But if you get a knife in that situation, wait till you get into a controlled environment where you can get some pressure to be put on it immediately when you finally rip that thing out. Not rip it out, look at the wound, bleed out for a second, then have someone grab it and put you on a horseback or something.
That was foolish.
Let's go. Shouldn't have pulled it out, as Kyle says. I'm taking a ride with my best friend. Cats, Joe Dirty Locks. The couple at the beginning were not in the game.
They were not in. One of my favorite parts of the series so far is that scene.
Did you lie to them? Did you tell them the truth? Yep.
Well,
are you telling me the truth? I like that scene too. I liked it. Again, it was, we keep talking about the people that move out to the middle of nowhere or the survivalists like Bill. They're the ones that are thriving in this world. These two folks that are just living out in the middle of nowhere, I thought they also, the two of them also had, the actors had good chemistry. The two of them were fun together.
Yes, I've always liked that guy.
Yeah, and
so many shows.
I feel like I know her from something too. I can't place it, but I feel like I know her from a comedy where she's like, "I'm sorry," I'm seeing like where she plays. I don't know. Maybe it's Gossip Girl or something something random.
Like I feel like it's the same character as in like Z Nation, the kid that plays DJ something that plays the new guy in whatever in the new guy movie is in like the Arctic, and he comes across, he's a military kit guy, satellites and shit, but he comes across an Inuit family or whatever they happen to be, and there's like an old woman and an older guy and a young woman, but I am like almost the same character, but very, very well done.
And very funny, and I think this show, when it does humor, does it really well, and just the production value. A couple of people in the chat.
This guy's been in so much shit. What, like Dances with Wolves?
Yeah, he's been in
Maverick. He's been in.
He's one of those lifetimes, which is awesome that you.
Like Longmire or Banshee or some shit. Like so
because we're in this, and I don't like calling it this, but it's what it's referred to, prestige era of television. You see a lot of these. Yeah, that's what they call it. Now that we're in this era, yeah, that's what they call it.
What is Prestige TV on right now? Where is the Prestige TV? Like that shit. Prestige TV, as far as I'm concerned, died at season 5 of Game of Thrones, and every fucking good television and like aside like Better Call Saul dragged it on for a few more, like tried to carry the torch on its own, and since then, like, honest, Prestige TV, give it up, guys. You're writing the same bad shit over and over again with a new skin. Feel like I'm in fucking Call of Duty. Oh great, I gotta shoot another 100 enemies to get this skin before I can get another 100 enemies dead to get that skin.
Leave the show alone. No, I'm kidding.
Like, how many times are we gonna see the same fucking scenes and the same fucking action? Like the stab that Joel gets, like the fucking all the
Joe,
shit.
Come
with
on,
Kathleen.
it's high art.
Not prestige. This is lowbrow television as far as I'm concerned. That has a few bright spots. That the bright spots are perhaps way too bright for fucking WB or fucking maybe even ABC, but still, or whatever other network or whatever, but still, the bad spots in this, the is no better than fucking Charmed or fucking Arrow or any of that.
Oh,
shit.
that's harsh.
Any of that
that's
shit.
Harsh.
And like, at least
leave
Joe.
I'm gonna stop you right here. Leave the CW out of this, Joe. You had me till you
This
mentioned.
is not prestige TV.
Yeah, but don't mention the CW. That's a different
TV.
level. That's a different level.
Oh
my
goodness.
point was that you get the actors that you wouldn't normally get in television because that you used to just get in movies and shit.
Wait. Kathleen is a television actress.
No, but I'm talking about this dude tonight. Usually was in movies, in bit parts in movies.
No,
and
not
shit
in
like
the
that.
last 20 years. He's been all over television. Like,
Wait a second. I gotta say this. Sorry, Joe. I gotta say this again. I saw this heart jump up in the live chat like an emoji flying heart. Is there a new feature in YouTube that you can like send a flying fucking heart going on in the chat? Because I've seen 2 of them now, and I don't know if I'm hallucinating or is someone sending a special kind of emoji that YouTube added a feature or some shit. So sorry. But the actor's name is Graham Greene. His name, he was also in American Gods. His best role, in my opinion, was Skins. Steph Snow says, I see the point. The lows are pretty low. DJ's like, Joe is ranting. Who the hell watches the CW? Come on, Joe. Stop.
Joe's like 4 beers in.
Now. There it is. There it is. Who's doing those hearts?
I don't see these hearts.
There's hearts popping up in the fucking chat.
What hearts?
100% heart. Like, what the fuck? What's going on? Okay, but anyways, my point is there's a new feature in town. It's the flying heart of Relorb. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's listen to some voicemails, Joe. Let's open up the voicemail line and see what some of the other folks thought. And this is from our good buddy at 773.
Good evening, gentlemen. It's me, your favorite bastard. That episode was pretty decent. But I'm really looking forward to next week's episode. But we're talking about this week's episode. There were some things here I loved. I love that little Kim Wexler.
You see the hearts now?
No, Julia Dawn.
Julia, we'll get back to your voicemail.
I recognize the wife instantly. She plays Marilyn in Northern Exposure.
Oh, Northern Exposure. Yep, Northern Exposure. And we'll get back to your message in a second here. Northern Exposure is an underrated show that helped transition in.
Show.
And do you know who worked on Northern Exposure? Whose first show? That's David Chase worked on Northern Exposure, the future creator of The Sopranos.
Yeah.
So there's some connection to prestige television.
If it's an Easter egg.
Wait.
If it's just
the prestige era of television probably started with The Sopranos.
It started with Oz, Sopranos, The Wire. To me,
yes, those shows,
and then Mad Men, Breaking Bad. I think
it was all of the other networks.
6 Feet Under, and then you could argue that around that time, even though these shows aren't on the same level, you have like The Lost and The 24 and Hero Season 1, like that generation of the best network shows that were on at the time. And Prison Break as well, but those first shows that started that era were truly Oz, 6 Feet Under, The Wire, The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, Mad Men. Like that group.
And it has ended. The prestige era is over.
It's over. Okay, we'll talk more about that as we go. Let's see.
It ended.
It's over. It's over.
All those people rest on their fucking laurels and.
Oh, and don't forget Rome. Rome is another one. Joe is a huge Road fan.
Rome season 1. My problem with Rome was they didn't go back far enough. They should have started like decades before Caesar.
Now, let's get back to our voicemail and hear the end of this voicemail. We're going to play all of them. If you guys want to call on in, 781-990-8509. If we miss your live motherfucking chat. I don't know why I said mother effing there. I only have to say that in the first 2 minutes of the show. You can text on in also, 781-990-8509. And where are those damn hearts coming from? Who is sending them? They're flashing. Am I the only one that sees them? Am I hallucinating? Did someone spike my vodka with psilocybin? What's going on right now?
But I just love that, like, Omaha, Nebraska, like, lawyers thing. You just gave me a little callback to Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
And I had no idea why, in my mind, Joel was going to put his tongue on that ball. I don't know why my mind had that.
I don't know where he was going with it, his tongue on the asshole or something. I'm not sure where you're going with that, 773, but you're cracking me up as always using the beeps.
Putting his tongue on a frozen bowl.
People are saying, I see no hearts. I don't know what you've been smoking. People think as the hearts keep coming. I feel like I need to turn the camera on.
I don't see, there's no hearts over here.
Joe, look at the camera.
Okay, yeah, there's no hearts on my screen, dude.
But you saw them on mine, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not hallucinating. I'm not hallucinating. This isn't a trip. Spoiler alert, everybody, from Rome. Spoiler alert. Caesar dies. Don't
Rome burns in the end.
Rome falls. I don't want to spoil what happens at the end of Pompeii, but Vesuvius explodes.
Right? Like
Shh. That's why.
Can there be spoilers?
That's the old conversation. We're gonna be back in The Last of Us here in a second. That's where the fun conversations used to come when we did Vikings, because it was like, is there spoilers here? People could just look at the History Channel. Okay, so let's get to our next voicemail here. This is from area code 651.
Hey, what's up, Phil? What's up, Joe Dirty Socks? This is Marcos calling in from Minnesota. What's up, guys? What's up, Chad? I think that this is the first time that we're kind of seeing some of the pitfalls of the show versus the movie, because
we're going to rewind this in a second here and play the rest of your message. Guys, take it easy in the chat with this Titanic sink stuff. People might not have seen the movie. We don't want to spoil the fucking movie, dude. Come on. Like, they might re-release that stuff in theaters. We don't want to ruin what happens, at the end of fucking Titanic. I mean, that's classic.
What's up, chat? I think that this is the first time that we're kind of seeing some of the pitfalls of the show versus the movie, because if the show in the movie or in the game, in the game versus the show, because in the game you're spending so much time wandering through cities, killing loads of people, random people, just to do this. And here in episode 6, it feels like we just left and we haven't encountered that many people. Yet we're already at the school. Like,
what was that? Joe, we're gonna get back to this message in a second, but I need to know: is this person in your house? Does he know you're Joe Dirty Socks? Because can we get Katie on here for a second? Because Katie would admit that you are in fact Joe Dirty Socks. No, I'm kidding.
Well, Joe Dirty Socks, Joe Dirty Cock, Joe Dirty Lock. I've been called a lot of things.
They're all
in my
appropriate.
life.
Yeah, I having spent some time at Joe's house, I can attest to the Joe Dirty Socks.
But we can all rhyme.
We can all rhyme dirty with something. Anyways, let's play the rest of this person's message.
But that one I haven't heard. And I play a lot of Call of Duty, and people love to pronounce names wrong on PlayStation Network. So come on.
I like Dirty Socks though. I might have to use that one. Okay, let's continue. Dirty Socks.
At the school, like it just feels it's really off to me.
Okay, Swarley.
The timing and pacing, and additionally talking about pacing. They took a whole episode to go into the depth of the relationship with the dude with his husband or whatever. I'm forgetting his name right now. And
Bill.
In this one episode, we reached how many events? We met Tommy. We saw the school.
Exactly.
Like there was so many things in one
covered
episode.
A lot of shit.
Timing is just really kind of.
Yeah, and we'll play there's 15 seconds left in the message. We'll play the rest of it. But yeah, Joe, that's what you were talking about tonight. Like there's so much happened just in tonight's episode, and that's what I was saying. I'm selfish coming out this episode. I love this episode. We're gonna break apart this episode beat for beat and talk about how much we enjoyed it and gush over it. But it made me feel that I wanted more, that this was the show I signed up for, the relationship between the two of them. And this felt like this was the first time we got it.
And on top of that, right? So if you cut out like all that Kathleen shit, like I was saying before, and really tightened those 2 episodes up, gave it to us all from Joel's perspective, and from like window shots and long views of whatever Kathleen is fucking doing until that car scene, right? Like maybe, like, and I'm not saying it didn't hit hard when the scene happened.
It hit hard for me having not played the game, just for my point.
But because I played the game, maybe the scene hit hard for me. But when Joel goes off and starts talking about all that shit to Tommy, right? I didn't feel any of that tension that Joel's talking about. Not in the last 4 fucking episodes.
Oh yeah, when he tells the story about what they've been through, I was like, it sounds like more of a tale than we felt watching the show.
Right? Like I'm like, okay, Joel, I understand. Okay, it's been 20, and this is bringing up a lot of old memories for you. And we just this was the first time we saw him like, oh, I'm scared with like any kind of like heart thing.
Is this the first? You know, I was just gonna say, is this the first? Am I misremembering, or is this the first time we've seen the panic attacks?
I'm thinking it's the first time.
People in the chat, I know you will anyways, but correct me and Joe if we are wrong. If I'm missing one, was
Maybe one other? No,
was there
when he
one in
takes
like
the pill- when
episode
he takes
2?
in episode 1 when he's taking the pills, maybe, or episode 2 when he's
Episode
taking
2.
the
I think it's
pills.
episode 2. We get a little something.
Right? Yeah, but even still,
Yeah.
like when we get to that scene, and yeah, okay, it was emotional and all that shit, but still, that had more to do with the actors and a lot of other stuff. But as far as I'm concerned, we didn't get to experience much of that tension that he's talking
This
about.
goes to
because
my
episode 3 is all love story. Episode
And it was
4 is Kathleen shit.
And regardless on how you feel about the Kathleen situation, or how some people might feel that 3 was a well-acted episode but too indulgent in taking away from the main narrative of the plot, this all would not be a problem. I don't want to get into my overall thesis statement of the night, but it wouldn't be a problem if they decided to, and I'm not even saying don't go 2 full seasons of it, but not be so, and I guess you got to do this in case you don't get picked up, in case it's not a hit, but not necessarily tell the whole first game in the first season. Maybe do the first season and a half as the first game, and then the second game starts halfway through the next season, and then goes into maybe
and
not.
You know what, Phil?
Maybe
Phil?
just a few. I just think maybe we needed 4 more episodes, like 4
Phil,
more episodes.
Phil, I'm telling you this right now, that if they had made it 2 seasons, they could have gone full on fucking gore. This could have absolutely been the whole fucking masterpiece of fantastic character development that they wanted, and raw fucking action. Yeah, no, I saw some comments. We don't need a Captain America. We don't need a John Wick and that shit. But you know what? You fucking are. When you play that game, you fucking are. You are a master of stealth. And if you ain't playing it on fucking hard and grounded mode and shit, you don't have to be a master of stealth. You just run straight the fuck through and you murder fucking everybody. Absolutely fucking everybody. And even when you play it on grounded mode, you might be able to sneak past a few motherfuckers. But everybody you see,
Joe,
before they even open their mouth, hi, my name is... You fucking smack them in the back of the head with some sort of weapon that you have fashioned.
Do you go full?
Throw a bomb at them, throw a Molotov cocktail at them, and burn their fucking bodies alive. We haven't seen Joel burn one motherfucker alive yet with a.
You want to
Molotov
see Joel
cocktail.
go a little Leroy Jenkins? Let's go
dude. That's honestly, that's what you do. And you know what? And when you get to play as fucking Ellie, when it switches, fucking spoilers, everybody.
Don't.
Ellie is a badass little fucking bitch. She can murder with the best of them. I am telling you, she takes out at this age in this game probably about half the amount of people Joel takes out. Joel takes out fucking at least 100 fucking people. At least
we see a little of that tonight with her with the gun. And let's say that's what I said in my message. Correct. I've only played survival mode or grounded. Maybe the actors don't want to commit to more than 2 years in a show. Joe is on truth mode tonight, says Marco. The real family was the one we made along the way. The monkeys were in the game too. We'll talk about the monkeys. The showrunners, humans are the real monsters. Riggs agrees with me. Luna says there is enough time in these episodes if they do it right. I don't see the gradual evolution of Joel starting to care for Ellie a bit, and it just jumps a lot, says Jack Reno. In the game, Ellie could shoot and drive. Ellie is a beast, as Jackie says. Willie P says, we saw Joel burn a kid in the first episode, though, Joe. That's
did. Close to Molly. That's close, but the kid was already dead. And that was the kid from Bill's town. Like, I'm pretty sure that was
We start the episode with that, or we have like a focus on that kid for a little bit for some reason. Okay, let's get to.
oh yeah, that was the kid that comes into town.
Yeah, we see we do a little focus on the kid. Let's listen to the end of this message and then get to our voicemails. Keep the voicemails coming. We have the lines are full but always open. 781-990-8509. Get on in here. Push us in different directions tonight. Let's have some fun, guys.
Other than that, though, the episode was great. Great events, great acting. Ellie's smart, as we saw her in the game, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So that's it for me. Peace out, guys. Love the show. See you next time.
Thank you so much, and thank you for that Joe Dirty Socks thing. This is from the wonderful, the amazing Miss Steph Snow.
Hey, Phil. Hey, Joe.
Hey,
Hey,
Steph
Chat.
Snow.
It's Steph Snow from 860. I thought this episode was really pretty. There were so many beautiful visual shots, and made me a little emotional, but I feel like all the episodes have made me a little emotional. I thought they did a really great job of creating the contrast of the town versus all of these abandoned gray cities we've seen. And, it just felt so different. Even when they go to the University of Colorado, that stark contrast. I think like all these warm woods that they had going on in the Utah town. And I was holding my breath several times throughout the show, waiting for a clicker, waiting for something to come out. I wasn't expecting what I think are the cannibals that ended up stabbing Joel. And I am like a little nervous because I don't quite remember how it gets resolved. So I definitely thought the cliffhanger moment they were intending.
Did you say pause it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. This is another moment where I believe they get it right in terms of what they did because they got it wrong because they crunched it down into 9 episodes. But because they did that and because they covered so much of this, yeah, they had to bring it right around to this hunter group, this cannibal group probably. But this is another example of them with a wasted opportunity. Like by this point, Fedra isn't a threat. Fedra isn't a thing or anything like that. And I can understand why they kind of did away with, they kind of downplayed them altogether to begin with. But again, another wasted opportunity where clickers, the real threat in life, and runners and bloaters and all the rest of that shit, it's not a concern. It's not a concern in this world.
No, and I mean they even almost make a slight passive joke about it in this.
There's no dead out here.
Yeah, we don't, and we can see him come a mile away, and it's they blah blah blah. So I mean, I don't mind having episodes that don't feature them. That's my point. Like that I said earlier, it wasn't to necessarily blow up last week's episode. Coming off the big scene at the end where we have all the infected, I can see having an episode like this. But it becomes less of a problem when you have more cards to deal with. We're running out of cards, so you can't help but look back on other opportunities and go. You start playing the Game of Thrones season 8 game where you're like, they wasted time on this shit. Well, they didn't do this here and this here a little bit for whatever it's worth. But anyways, let's play the rest of the message.
Overall, I thought it was a good episode and way better than the last two. Okay, bye.
Thank you so much. And here
that last point, yes,
absolutely. This was to me one of my like just in general favorite episodes of the season. As we'll get into it a little bit later. But this is from area code 706.
Hi guys, it's Jackie again.
Jackie.
I am here in defense of this episode yet
Do it.
again. I thought it was great to show Joel going through kind of like a PTSD episode, like he's starting to get attached to Ellie and it's bringing up emotions about Sarah and that's why he can't go with her and yada yada yada. That happens in the game. I'm a huge fan of the game and I haven't been disappointed with the show. I'm just so excited to see it live action. And this episode was slow, of course, but it's building to the finale. we get to see them interact more and build their relationship, which for any of the game lovers, you'll know what happens, and that's important. That's vitally important to what happens. I was just wondering if they're going to give us a tease of the second season a bit at the end of this whole thing. And if they...
I'm going to play the rest of your message in a second, Jackie, but I'm not sure. Do you think we'll get a tease, or do you think when they made this, they weren't sure if they were going to get a second season, Joe? Do you think we'll get any tease for second season stuff, or do you think this season's just going to end?
I think that there is a possibility that we see certain things in Salt Lake that might hint at characters in the future.
That might be introduced in the future. Okay. And we'll get
nothing maybe concrete as far as like
who's playing said characters.
And casted and filmed stuff, but like we might see certain objects or we might see certain things in Salt Lake City that are blatant call outs to future characters. I honestly, if there aren't those little Easter eggs, I'd kind of be disappointed, but it would seem like a wasted opportunity. Yeah.
I think we may, and I'm going to play the rest of your message in a second, Jackie. I'm just going to get to Heineken's Super Chat donation. Thank you so much for the Super Chat, Heineken. We appreciate those Super Chat donations more than you know. Joe needs to make a backup YouTube page called Joe Dirty Socks for the rest of the season. That's the best thing that happened tonight. Thank you, Heineken, for the Super Chat donation. And I do. It's a very much a Swarley moment. And
hey, you can call me whatever you want.
Absolutely. Let's play the rest of Jackie's voicemail.
They bring us just a glimpse of the you know who from part 2, because that will just blow my mind. Anyway, I thought it was great. Joel getting stabbed versus impaling himself. I guess they chose that to distance themselves from The Walking Dead. You know, Rick getting impaled, spoilers. Yeah, so...
Oh, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, Rick does get impaled at one point in time. And I want to spend special love out to our good buddy Mandrell in the live motherfucking chat. And great to see Raider X in the live chat too. Yes, John Haymaker, I'm wearing a pizza shirt. And there's a special little thing about this pizza shirt, you know. You can unzip it, and a pouch comes out that you can actually keep a piece of pizza in, because it's like a little food pouch and stuff. I don't have pizza in there right now, but I could. I very easily could have some pizza in there, Joe. This could come in handy for us in the future apocalypse. Anyways, let's play the rest of it.
Hell yeah, especially when the dogs come sniffing.
Yeah,
they're going right after you and your fucking pepperoni pizza slice.
My pizza chest. They're going right after my superhero pizza chest.
The Walking Dead kind of stole that from The Last of Us. It was straight off ripoff. So we got robbed of that a little bit, and the action sequence.
What was it?
You know,
she said that The Walking Dead copied The Last of Us, which Joe was screaming about in the whole last season of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, said I want to hear what she said again.
You know, Rick getting impaled, spoilers. Yeah, so I think The Walking Dead kind of stole that from The Last of Us. It was straight off ripoff.
You want to hear that? Should I clip that? Just put The Walking Dead stole that from The Last of Us. Straight up ripoff.
So we got robbed of that.
How many times did they scream that from the rooftop?
A little bit, and the action sequence. But, you know, realistically...
Thank you, Maud Mary. I see floating fucking hearts on your phone chat. Maud Mary's the only other person that see it. Must be a new YouTube feature that they unveiled just for tonight, because this is the first time I'm seeing it too. They're copying Twitch and doing the floating emojis in the chat.
Anvil
this
just for us.
probably
Or just for us. Yeah, we're beta testing it.
would have happened like this, just a couple of guys sneaking up on them and attacking them instead of like a whole army like it is in the game. Because there are very few people left in this world. Anyway, hope you have a good evening. I'll see you guys in the chat. Bye now.
Thank you as always, Jackie. And someone said, Puzzle Cat says I can keep my stash in there. There's an old skit from the 90s Saturday Night Live. I think it's an Adam Sandler skit. You can keep your weed in there, or Rob Schneider and Adam Sandler skit. Where it's
on everything. Oh man.
Yeah, this is a hey, see this little case that I got here? I got this at an antique store. It's really nice here.
Oh man, you can get your weed in there.
You can keep your weed in there, dude. And that's the same the episode that did that, Joe. This is just for Joe because no one else is going to get this. It's the same episode that they make reference to Cappy's Liquor in a different skit. In that, someone goes, "We're drinking in Cappy's Liquor."
We're going to Cappy's.
Cappy's to get a drink. So let's continue with the voicemails tonight, 781-990-8509. Keep them coming. We got the voice of 916. We got the amazing Tracy G, who left us a few messages. I can't wait to get to her thoughts. We got 910. We got 304. We got text messages. Let's get to our texter. And as I said, if I miss your comment in the live motherfucking chat, you can text on in at 781-990-8509. Yes, Joe.
I am going to call out a motherfucking chatter. Breaks. It's just Phil cannot confirm or deny, but I will tell you right now that it's another egregious trope they have laid upon you, my friend.
The hearts.
Sorry.
The hearts.
Raider X.
Oh, no, what did Raider X say? Read the Phil, can you confirm that Joel is just next to the comment? I thought the horse was
good.
Joel would wreck Rick in a fight, says Sons of Liberty. I'll take Joel in that fight against Rick. But will Rick go all Tyson on him and bite the ear off? I mean, Rick might bite someone's ear off.
Cheek or his neck or
something.
Shit.
I mean, I'll trash The Walking Dead all day, but I wouldn't want to get into a foxhole with Rick Grimes fighting over a piece of pizza.
No. I will take Joel over Rick Grimes
in a one-on-one battle,
to protect the youngin.
What's the better story?
In a battle of protect the youngin.
The battle of protect the youngin.
Joel comes out on top.
Okay. Oh, Mando versus Joel. Mando kills him in like 2 seconds, though. I'm sorry.
Nope. No fucking way.
Joel takes down the Mandalorian. He can't get through that damn
Joel's
armor.
making fucking bombs out of nails and whatever fucking horse manure you can find on the Joel any day of the week. Fuck Mandalorian.
Mandalorian has the superior technology.
Mandalorian would fall like the Empire.
He's got Yoda. He's got Grogu over there.
Boom.
Grogu will go. Whatever.
Joel would MacGyver his
Heineken says Rick would be
to death with a spiked fucking club.
Heineken
just like your precious Negan.
Heineken has my precious Negan. Wait, what? Heineken has the best comment of the night here. Rick would just be yelling, Joel Curl. We need the Walking David now. 859. Joel.
Ellie Ellie would fucking Carl versus Ellie. These two are straight fucking murder. Like, you do not understand
Raider X.
You go through the game and just murder people from coast to almost coast of this country. Seriously.
Ellie versus Carl.
Like, Ellie sneaks up behind many of people and stabs them to death.
Joe, question from area code 859. Are they bringing in David into the show, Joe, do you think?
The Walking David? I hope so.
I hope the David gets cast. But no,
Are you fucking serious? That would be sweet.
Is there a character named David in the game that could possibly come into the show?
Okay, so without getting into spoilers or with getting into spoilers?
Without.
Well, you can't.
Just say yeah. Do you think that character will show up?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, here's the thing. Like,
no spoilers.
Was that scenes from next week? A lot of times, what they do, right? If I'm wrong, they show you just like a couple of scenes from the season. Usually, they do that on like episode 1, and then they do that again at the end of the season when it's coming up towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily show you scenes from next week.
Usually they only do that in the first episode. I think we are now seeing things from next week. And I love this new feature on YouTube with these people that are just listening to this later that aren't seeing this are going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I am seeing stuff. We got a super chat donation, Joe, another one from the amazing, awesome Maud Mary. She says, I got Grey Worm vibes from Joel experienced fear for the first time because he finally cares about someone for the first time. Thoughts? Is it really tough for Joel? I'm not sure if I got Grey Worm vibes from him necessarily. Meaning like he's caring about Missandei for the first time, and when his whole life he didn't worry about anything, and then you see him as he's thinking about putting his life in situations on the line and protecting her. You can see him feeling emotions and caring about someone when he's been closed off for so long. I can kind of see where Maud Mary's going with that, but I didn't necessarily make that connection myself, but I definitely see where you're going with that.
You call that out, absolutely, and that shit's not in the game.
Yeah, it's good though.
It's
good.
So natural, like the way it all happens. You don't like. This seemed, we haven't seen a shaking hand from him or any kind of shit like that. Like, it just felt forced for the episode, and for the like, how are we gonna if we're okay? So, we're changing it from the game on why he's going out to Tommy in the first place, rather than like, whereas it wasn't even he was going looking for Tommy, he just kind of like ran into him.
Joe, we got like, before we get to some more voicemails, we got a couple of
he was kind of looking for him, but
Joe, we got a couple of really good questions in the live chat I want to get to first. Sonic, your boy, asks Joe, let's do because Joe, I feel like this might get a rant going on. Tess versus Carol, and this one I take Carol. If we have an unnerfed Carol, like Carol taking out
Carol season what?
Carol when she took out all that whole group herself to save all of her friends, like alone when she went all Rambo, like Carol not being nerfed, like full on Carol takes out anybody. I'm going Carol on that one.
I'm not going to argue that, because just like when the parts we get with Tess in the game, you have
Tess is more crafty than taking out large amounts of people.
You're still playing as Joel, so you're the one taking out the large amount of people. Like, if there are 10 enemies to get to the fuckhead that stole your guns and sold them to the Fireflies, the battery guy there, if there are 10 guys, Tess is gonna shoot 2 of them, and you're gonna kill 8 of them, and that's really what you get from Tess. She's not a playable character. She's the brain behind Joel's brawn.
And keep those thumbs up coming. Keep those hearts coming. Keep the 100% up. Everything going. New feature. Let's pound the shit out of it, because these new features can only help us get to more people, I guess, that we're getting this tonight, because it's the first time I've seen this stuff, and I watch a lot of live streams. Sonic, your boy, Joe. Here we go. Joe, better character, Kathleen from the last 2 episodes or Ivar the Boneless?
What?
Ivar.
Which flavor of shit do you like better?
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a fair question.
Do you like?
Yes, I ate them both, but like, there's no better. Once you reach a level of shit, it's shit.
Fair.
Am I wrong?
Fair. No, there's degrees of shit.
What degree of shit is there?
Would you rather drink diarrhea or eat poop with a fork and a knife, or
what
both?
difference does it make? It's going between all your teeth either way.
It's true, but you can sort of I guess, I don't know. I don't want to go too far with this. I'm regretting this. This
is already too far.
Yeah, but
this is the Issues channel.
I mean, it's true. This is the Issues Guys show when it really comes down to it. So clickers to you. Question, clickers, you haven't watched From. From's a really good show. The clickers versus the From monsters. I would say the clickers seem more erratic and that they would be a bigger threat than the From monsters, but we will see about that. And make sure you're hitting that like button and help this get out to even more people. Thank you to everyone that's checking this out and has been checking this out every week. We really do appreciate that. Keep the comments coming every week. We really love engaging with you guys in the comment section during the week. Both Joe and I pop on in there. So if you're listening to this after the fact, definitely comment in the comment section and we will get back to you and talk about it. As I mentioned before, you can also leave voicemails on off hours at 781.
You're getting your first take comments in here on your voicemails in the chat. Get your this week when you do your second watch, come back, comment in those comments what your second take is. If any of the things we talked about rang true or not.
Or if you think we're being dumbasses, leave your comment in the comment section with the comments.
Like that's just, we are being dumbasses.
Exactly.
Like there is no doubt about this. You know, even if the shit might be true, we're still fucking dumbasses.
I mean, come on.
And for us to be able to call them out on their shit, like, gives me little hope for what's to come, or like in TV media in general for the future. Like,
no, that's exactly what I would be doing. I'd be trying to blend in with the clickers with my clicker instrument. There was a lot of Easter eggs in this episode, which might be the only episode I'll watch twice as Steph Snow. Rick's group wouldn't survive the Last of Us world. Phil, drop that poop analogy.
No, Rick's group would not survive.
Yeah, that's what people
like. You think about the difference between the walkers and the clickers and the runners. Like the walkers.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and I was just gonna say, think about the difference of the base that they have, like compared the like how big the walls are, how the protective thing compared to that, to what we've seen at like the prison or Alexandria. Anyways, I don't want to talk about that shit show. I do want to send special love out to the amazing Centivia Major. Long time, great to see wonderful Centivia Major in the live chat tonight. And Luna, thank you so much for that super chat donation. Just because. Thanks, guys. No, thank you, guys. This is so much fun for Joe and I every week, so we appreciate all of you guys coming to join us and get to talk about this episode. We still have 8 voicemails to get to. We'll get to all your voicemails tonight, and of course, we'll get into our recap in a minute here and start talking about this episode, breaking it down point for point. But keep your thoughts coming about this episode and this season as a whole. We're in the home stretch here, again, with only 3 episodes left. Now, everyone, relax. Take your Quaaludes, take the time to lean back and hear the wonderful sounds of the amazing voice at 916.
Hello, this is the voice at 916. Hi, Phil. Hi, Joe. Hi. This episode was kind of, it was a little slow, and there were a few things that I found a little curious. I thought I remembered Joel always saying never to light a fire because there could be bad people around. Even though they're out in the wilderness, there might not be any clickers, bloaters, or any of the infected, but there are people that they need to be concerned about. And as they were going across the countryside, there was a lot of conversation. They were talking. When I felt that if it were me,
can you pause
conversation is okay.
Yep, of course.
But
you can always tell me to pause.
So when you're right, he did say that. That was when they were driving. They pulled over. They pulled off the road, down into the trees, and they both laid down to sleep. They weren't taking watch or anything. Joel wasn't taking a watch. Ellie wasn't taking watch. They were both, if I remember correctly, they were both laying down to go to sleep at the same time, pretty much. Might be wrong. And difference is also there's now a 3-month time jump from fall into winter, and we're no longer in Boston, but we're
no longer in Kansas City. We're in Nebraska at this point, right?
We're in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Earlier
Nebraska,
when that happened, we were somewhere.
We went from Kansas City to Wyoming in an episode.
Right. But we also went from Boston to Kansas City in an episode too. And I think that was on the road when they pulled off the road when they were driving. And
and everybody, it landed the wheel for the super chat donation. The last 2, one landed on Bite and a Sandwich, which I'm taking at the moment, and the Lunas landed on everybody drinks. So wherever you are, whatever you're drinking, whether it's water, coffee, booze, cola, salsa, whatever you have, let's toast it up to Luna for this super chat donation, and you guys for helping us keep going and helping us. And we do appreciate the appreciation. Thank you so much. Never expected, but always appreciated.
Hell yeah.
But yes, keep it coming. No, I'm kidding. So let's listen to more of the area code 916.
Ellie would have stepped Carol in the face.
Ellie would have stared when she told Ellie to look at the flowers. She would have turned around and go, "Look,
Ellie versus Carol.
Look at the fuck
Ellie
this.
wins.
Look at the fuck of this, Carol. I'll fuck you up. I don't give a fuck."
Ellie versus Carol. Ellie wins.
Hold your sandwiches. Wait. I'm hungry. I gotta get. I do have some food in here. I have gummy bears in here, but not pizza, unfortunately.
As there could be any danger coming from any direction.
Look at the flowers, Ellie. Turn around. Look at the flowers, Ellie. Sorry, 916. Let me continue with your message.
I did like the cinematography. I thought it was beautifully
It was beautiful.
shot.
Yes, it was.
And as far as having the prestige actors on, I appreciate that, but they were only on like for 5 minutes. So, anybody could have played that. But overall, it was okay. Joel opening up and finally.
I feel like and I'm gonna play the rest of your mention 916. I feel like you didn't feel this episode, but you're trying to be positive. You're like, it was okay.
Yes,
it was
that's how-
okay.
She started out with it was slow.
Yeah, she did, and I think I'm not saying I'm doubting what the caller's saying, but
it was to start out the episode like.
I like slow though.
Slow is nice, but they didn't start this. They started this episode with a bang. Literally, with a bang.
No, literally, they didn't need to necessarily flash back to what happened in last
right. So
scenes from last week's
episode with a bang, and then they just slow. Black screen and then slow. Remind you that Henry got shot. Like you're not gonna see it in scenes from last
and that's what I said.
week.
They did show it. They did show us in scenes
I
from last week.
skipped scenes from last week because I had just watched the episode.
And I also skipped because I was the episode popped up on my HBO 5 minutes late. Anyways, let's listen to the rest of the 916 message.
He letting out his true emotions to his brother, even though he lied to him at the beginning. That was good, but nothing that was unexpected. And I would have preferred to have seen more of the infected to keep that adrenaline, frightening, beware kind of feeling.
I want to touch my hair when she talks.
As they were traveling across the country.
Your hair, Phil?
Yeah, Joe, I agree
Shush,
with you.
Joe.
There are a few things
Dirty
happening that, that were tropey, and, I just hope for the next episode.
Joe, you're infecting people with your trope,
Good
please.
night, guys.
Hey, dude, I call it like I see it, and I'll point it out. And now when I point these things out, you're going to start noticing them in all the shit that you watch. And it's going to become annoying to you then, too. Like,
we used to
I
call,
won't be the only one.
We used to call these Jostrophes or whatever. I can't even say the word anymore. We're like, we'll take an asterisk there. Julia Dawn says, I think it's just too cold where they are now. If it makes a fire or freeze, plus they were in a cave that first time, so the fire is not likely to be seen. Talking about the fires, the last of the tropes. Jackson, Wyoming is right by Yellowstone. That area in Colorado is about 300 miles southeast of there. Thank you, Puzzle Cat, for jumping in the chat tonight. We appreciate all of you guys.
In those areas too, I guess you're gonna have to go with, it's already super rural and there's no fucking people.
I mean, having driven through all there, gone cross country a couple times and driven through there, it really is. It's empty as hell. So
there's a big difference between going through New York City with 7 million people or some shit like that, and North Dakota, with 700,000 people.
Yep. And as Rake says, they're in Yellowstone right now. Kevin Costner's going to show up in a second. It's true.
Right.
No matter what I watch, I see tropes. Thanks, Joe. I can't wait to watch the backstory, the last of the tropes. Tropes whistle. Joe and I have to do a follow-up to our TV cliche episode and do tropes part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Okay, we get a bunch of messages.
Well, I mean, cliche, TV tropes, these are the same thing.
No, I mean, we did a video where we pointed out a lot of them, but I think we even missed some that have added more. This is from area code 773. We got a bunch of messages from Tracy. I'm very curious what Tracy thought tonight. And we're gonna delve them out over the course of the evening here a little bit. So this is let's start things out here. Here we go. Tracy always tries to swerve us here at the beginning. From her introduction, we're not gonna be able to tell if she liked it or not, Joe. So what are your thoughts? What is the over under here? Tracy liked
Hated it.
Okay, Joe says hated. I'm not sure here. I'm not sure.
Hated it.
Let's see.
Hey, Phil and Joe. This is Tracy G calling from Chicago. So I had a couple of things that I wanted to say from last week's episode.
Okay, this is last week's before we talk about tonight.
To Joe, I am one of the stupid people who thought that Ellie putting her blood on Sam's leg was going to cure her. For a brief moment, I literally thought that. They've been deviating from the show so much. So,
well, then why would you have to go all the way out to Kansas City? Just have her fucking lay hands on everybody.
Sam was going to live and maybe get killed when they reach Tommy. I don't know. For Phil, I wanted to say that I had issues with Craig Mason from the Insiders podcast or whatever from last week, how he said that he really wanted to focus on storytelling and character building and not so much like the action.
Yep.
Focus on character building, storytelling, and character building. And you tell us the story and build the trope-tastic character of Kathleen.
Joe is waiting all night for Tracy G to call in to add some gasoline to his fire here.
But he figured he needed to bless us with the action scene or whatever. So even though I liked episode 5, I had a big issue with
action scene in 4 fucking episodes. Oh wait, I know we gave you a taste. 3 fucking shots fired. Like in a fuck you asshole, but like come on, right? Okay, continue. Yep. Bless us with an
that because it seems like from this episode, which I truly don't really know what to say. Like it was just an episode. I don't
and it
know if it was drama or what, but this show has a lot of issues going on with it, and I really do think that they should have found somebody else to be at the helm of the show besides Craig Mason. I think that this is what they mean when these franchises like Star Wars or Star...
I absolutely fucking agree. Yeah, he took an original piece, Chernobyl, and he made something. I only watched 1 episode. That's all I could get through. But like he made something that people thought was wonderful and original and looked and
it was very good.
Felt amazing and all this shit, right? And that's great. That already existed for this fucking story in such a beautiful masterpiece that it won all of these fucking awards. That games that have come out since get compared to it in many forms, right? Like it was a waste to pull this guy in, and he influenced the creator of this game into a completely different idea of what this is.
Because he wanted to do an alternate take on the universe.
He did want to do an alternate take, and that's fine, but
let's not get past that. Let's not get past.
I agree with her.
I agree with Tracy.
Tracy, you're absolutely right. Craig. I think what we've gotten from him. What? Tell me what has come from him that could have been good. Honestly,
the intros of the first 2 episodes when we got a little bit more of backstory of the infected stuff.
Right, but
liked that stuff at the time.
I did like that stuff, right? And you could I kind of see maybe the way it's filmed, the set design and
You
shit
liked
like
some
that
of the
comes from
changes in
him.
the first episode.
But those news stories, that news story segment
Now-
is kind of chopped up in different like flashes
Right,
at the
but
beginning just to get you
let's-
through, so you know.
Joe.
So no, like that's a slightly different take, and it is better. But like, so you're gonna say like 30 seconds to the beginning of 2 episodes?
No, I'm just pointing out
two
you
episodes.
asked me for something that he might have had. All I'm saying is let's not get past the fact that something that Joseph says, and we're gonna get to the rest of Tracy's messages here in a second. This, and I almost agree with what Joseph said. I don't know if it's the second best episode of the season, but this is the second best episode of the season. Fuck the action bullshit. I want character development. I want storytelling. I don't need zombie porn. I'm with you,
here's the
Joseph,
thing.
on this one.
Here's the thing. Phil, you want to know something? He's absolutely right. This is the second best episode and the first best episode. And the best episode is probably episode 3. And
Yeah, I would agree. I would say
is the first episode.
I would say
and
this
those
in
three
episode
have the
3.
best character building.
Yeah.
And those 3, so maybe episode 3 is heavy-handed in with Craig as well. But this episode isn't. This episode is almost all ripped from fucking game. It covers a lot of the game. Maybe this couple that we see, the Northern Exposure and the Maverick dude, Dances with Wolves dude. Maybe this is also him. But like, these are small little fucking moments that honestly aren't worth what they're paying this motherfucker.
Joe, before we get...
And isn't worth the time that they've taken away from so much other shit in this.
Now, Joe,
in the action part of it, you could have had almost all of these.
They chose...
So we're talking about 3 episodes. That means 3 episodes of crap that they could have consolidated into a well-rounded action and
they chose to go in a
Why
slightly...
isn't there that? Why doesn't that exist? Why does there have to be like, oh, we didn't want to focus on action. We wanted to focus on character. Well, we didn't want to get too into the character development. We just wanted like all you need to know is John Wick's wife is dead and his puppy got murdered and his car got stolen. And that's all you need to fucking know about character development. And you have an hour and a half of straight kick-ass fucking action, and it's all beautiful, right? Who says you can't have a wonderful marriage between the two where these two go across the fucking country, murder their fucking way through it, have great character development, still be able to tell the story of fucking Bill and Frank, spend a little time in fucking Lincoln instead of just fucking, oh, we're here, we've left. Like, there's so much you could do instead of some of the bullshit that you have done. You've gotten like a good 5 minutes out of fucking the couple with the rabbits. You got a good 5 minutes out of fucking Jakarta. You got, was it Jakarta? I forget what fucking city it was. With the fungus expert there, and you got 30 good seconds on fucking stage at fucking Ed Sullivan show or some shit. Like, really? That's what you brought this guy in for? Did he rewrote the other parts? Did he rewrite the Kathleen shit too, or was that all your brilliance? Mr. Whatever the fuck his name is, the other guy. Like, you're absolutely right, Tracy, and no, sorry.
So let's listen to the rest of Tracy's message. Sorry, Tracy.
To actually love those franchises to be at the helm, and I think that this is the case because last week's episode was good. This week it's moving fast. I have a couple of issues. First, I'm black. I don't know no black people named Marsha. So, I mean,
Marsha.
Why couldn't they name her Marsha or Mary or
Maria?
Maisha? I don't know. That seems like that would have been a real black person's name over Maria.
But no. She was
no
a
faith in
DA
Joel now to be able to get Ellie to where she needs to be. You did a whole 30-minute rant about how you're so weak, your foot is broke, you just standing there to let her get shot, you're a weak man, you need Tommy to do it. Joe, why would I even have faith in you now to get to the end of the series? This is ridiculous with this weak man, woman strong narrative that Hollywood is doing. I'm really not with the woke people, but this right here seems like it's a checkbox show and not a actual show.
So we're going to get into a couple of Tracy left us a couple more voicemails that we will absolutely get to in a bit.
As far as the checkbox show thing, I want to address the game is a lot about diversity. Both games are so heavily laden with it. And if you really want to look at life, it is too.
Amen.
So none of the boxes that could be or aren't checked, none of that shit kind of matters to me. I just want good storytelling.
Yeah, you just want a good fucking show.
And I do want to say it's anybody's take on it is their own fair take, as long as it's not coming from a place. Because when it's like, why is it forced upon us? It's not forced upon you. It's not. If you look at like the large scale of media that comes out and the amount of woke shit that's woven through it, so to speak, it's still very little and is railed upon very much. But hey, like, it is what it is, and it's going to be more, and it might be less, but we're there, and it's going to continue for a long time.
So
on many levels.
So let's listen to area code 910.
Especially where this show is concerned, is my point. Like, so you're going to have to get used to that because it's heavily woven throughout both games on every kind of issue, race issues, sexual issues, identity issues, just everything. It's through and through both games. So if that is something that's a concern, that is something that is going to continue to be a concern for you throughout the series. I'll tell you that right now, because like I said, it's like, and as far as someone said in the chat earlier, you have to separate the game from the show. You can't. It's the same story. They're modeling the show after the game and just trying to change it a little. You can't separate one from the other, especially when you have scenes like you had tonight and throughout the series where they
can look at them
straight from, and its dialogue is.
But you can look at them as two different, complete forms of media and judge them individually amongst themselves.
Absolutely, better be damn straight you fucking can, because the game is a fucking damn straight closest thing to a perfect 10 in fucking games or fucking movie, like any kind of storytelling medium. Like, if you were like all the books, all the movies, all the albums, all the fucking video games, all the fucking spoken word bullshit, whatever, all of it, this game is in the running for something that needs to be talked about as one of the best. One of the greatest.
I haven't even played it, and I know when we talk about greatest games of all time, it's in that greatest game stories of all time. It's in that discussion. People bring it up with all of the best. Joe,
and here's the thing, though: that story isn't just the story; it's also the gameplay. It's also the action. That's part of the story.
Oh no, Joe! I messed it up. I teased it without teasing it. You know what time it is, Joe?
Uh-oh.
We've waited long enough. It's about time to do it. It is time for our recap.
I want to make some sort of insensitive Tourette joke, but like, that would be insensitive. or ADHD shows. Or
What was that?
something. Huh?
What were you talking about?
I didn't say nothing.
Nothing. You said nothing.
That would all be very insensitive and inappropriate, and it shouldn't be done. I wanted to do it.
What a crazy person. I don't have a stage to jump around on right now, Joe. I play drums in a band, so I need to jump around somewhere. Oh my goodness. I'm still out of shape. It's tough. Okay. I feel like Joel right now. I'm tired. Oh my goodness. I wish we could see the dog when my dog isn't. It's fun when I have guest dogs here that aren't expecting it. My dog's just like whatever at this point. She's like, get the hell away from me. I wish we could see the dog. So here we are in the recap. We also have many voicemails that we're still going to get to tonight. Well, I'm going to make sure to get to all of you guys here tonight at 781-990-8509. In fact, before we get into our recap, I just wanted to get that over with so we can get into talking about this episode. But let's listen to another voicemail right now from area code 910.
Hey, Phil, this is Mandrell. Yeah, man.
Mandrell.
First of all, loving the content that you're producing. All right.
First of all, Mandrell, I love you, buddy. It's great to talk to you. We got to find some excuse to get you on here at some point in time, buddy. It's been too long since I've been able to be on the stream with you. Anyways, let's get back to Mandrell's message here, buddy. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, Phil, this is Mandrell. Yeah, man. First of all, loving the content that you're producing. All right. Second, I am a fan of the games. I've bought that game 3 times across different platforms.
Bought it.
And I played it to death. My friends and I played the online portion for like a year and a half.
Oh, it's faction.
You know what I mean?
It's fucking
Straight.
awesome.
But so yeah, I'm a fan. But to the show, man, yeah, 9 episodes is just not enough. I think they should have taken more of their time getting through it, because it looks like they're trying to squeeze the first game into 9 episodes, and to me, that's just not enough. But also, in my opinion,
it would have been enough. It would have been enough if they didn't try to do all of the extra stuff they're doing. It takes time to do those scenes in
To do
India.
like the character.
It takes time
character
to
profile.
do the scene on stage for Ed Sullivan. It takes time to do that Kathleen shit. It takes time.
Not that much time.
Like the extra scene with the couple with the rabbits. I don't know. I don't have a name for them.
The Artie Bucco couple.
Rabbits.
Yeah, the rabbit couple.
The rabbit couple, right? That takes time away from it, and you're trying to cram the whole season into these 9 episodes. So there's, for multiple reasons, it's not working for 9 episodes for me. You're absolutely right. They either should have been with all this extra that they're giving us and the cramping of the story, trying to rip it down into it needed to be at least 12 episodes, or like we talked about earlier, full 2 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, to our good friend of the show and my good friend of the show and podcasting partner, the amazing Tony Teflon, when we were talking about the show before the season off air a little bit, he was saying that that they definitely needed 2 seasons to tell this story properly. And I think if you do episodes like this and really take your time, which I love episodes like this, you do need a little bit of extra time to build that relationship. It keeps building strong. Anyways, let's listen to the...
Like, here's the thing. What if you took the whole season, a whole 10 episodes, and went from episode 1 to episode 10, and the season ends with fucking Henry shooting himself in the head.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That would have been a good place to end. Joe, that would have been a good place to end.
Content, the extra 4 episodes of story development and fucking action and shit from the game that they didn't have to remove. Building up a bigger threat with Fedra. Building up a bigger threat with the fucking clickers. All of that shit that they could have done had they had the balls to stand up to HBO and said, no, listen, this is game of the fucking year.
Who knows?
Game of the fucking decade.
Joe, don't blame
2,
HBO.
Don't blame
HBO. Joe, don't blame HBO. I'm sure HBO would have done as many episodes as they wanted to do. I'm sure they decided it was on the 9 episodes. And I, again, don't want to take away from the fact that tonight was an amazing episode of television.
Bullshit. What?
That tonight was an amazing episode of television.
It was
a good episode.
It was one of the best episodes
of this season.
This season of the yes, thank you. Okay.
Shush. Let's listen to the end of Mandrell's message, you asshole. you fucking asshole.
You can try to bait. But not every worm is shiny, Phil.
Listen, you're the master of
Not
bait.
every
You're
worm
the
wriggles.
master of baiting, Joe. Wait.
Hell yeah.
Well, yeah, you are.
Got the calluses on.
You got the
fucking-
proof.
Prove it.
Prove it. Okay.
The weakest episode is the one not last week, but the week before.
Yes.
That was the
Yes.
week, when they first got to Kansas City. That was the weakest episode, in my
Correct.
opinion. But yeah, man, keep it coming. All right, talk to you later.
We got the Walking David on mute at the moment, who is getting ready to watch the episode. Wish me luck. Love you guys in the live motherfucking chat. David, we need you. We
Luck,
need you.
David.
We need you in here in a moment to do some ridiculous shit for us. Listen to a few more voicemails, and then we'll get a little bit into our recap here. Area code 304. And Tracy, I will play the rest of your messages too. I'm going to get to them in a second. I'm just going to get to clear the deck a little bit here. Area code 304.
Hey, Phil and Joe. It's Mad Sinister here. Great
Sinister.
recap as always.
Thank you, my
I
friend.
like this episode. Love seeing Tara from True Blood. I feel like the show needs more episodes, though, and more action with gore. Looking at the next episode preview, looks like we're going to get an Ellie backstory. I have two questions, one for Joe and one for Phil.
Let's do it.
Joe, do we need a whole episode on Ellie's backstory?
Okay, quick. Joe.
I think so. I loved Left Behind. That DLC, that download content is. I thought it was really nice. I really liked it. I had fun playing it. That being said, I would have rather have like you get a whole section of just Ellie in the game because Joel's injured. That it would have been nice
But
to
you
see a little bit more.
and you were saying
of
earlier
that.
you hope you get to see that next week's episode. That's
right.
not
I
just,
think, but they're only giving us this Left Behind shit. So I'm really gonna say, unless it's an hour and a half long episode or some extended 60 minutes, 70 minutes or some shit like that, we're gonna get mostly, if not all, Left Behind. And unfortunately, I don't want to say the reason why it's named Left Behind is because it was left behind. Because they didn't put it in the first fucking game for a reason. That being said, I really fucking liked it. I really did.
So let's listen.
Really, really did. Some extended scenes should be in movies, should never have been cut. Right? Little things.
There's so many of them. Like sometimes little scenes just add so much context to a moment. Okay, area code 304. Let's listen to the second half of the question for me, I think.
And as for Phil, once this show is finished, what other recaps are you planning on doing in 2023?
Good question.
Because the worst part of this show ending is we're not going to get any more recaps on this show from you.
Aw.
And I'm thinking The Boys or Mandalorian
Yep.
or are you going to have weekly things of that? Because I'm going to definitely miss these recaps. Thanks, guys.
You touched upon one of them. We've been hinting at it or threatening to do it for years, but we will definitely be
Boys.
doing The Boys. When The Boys comes out, we'll do those on
Prime is a good one to do it with because they drop 3 at the start. That's a nice Prime fucking
Yep, and then
meltdown for
Friday
us.
Friday nights we'll do them on Friday nights right when they air. So we'll do The Boys. I'm also going to be doing recaps of a few other shows this year. Got to see how things shake out. House of the Dragon. Oh, that's not till next year. I'll be doing Severance when that comes back. If that comes back this year, I might be talking
That
about.
show's so good.
You watch Severance? Oh, awesome. We'll do Severance recaps when that comes back. 100%. I'm glad you like it. Isn't it like one of the best shows of last year? It was so fucking good, right?
That I would put up on Prestige TV.
That's one of the best shows in the last 5 years to come out.
7 years?
Yeah, since Better Call Saul started. And I mean, last year it was 1 for 1 with that as the best show on television. I think you would like From if you watched it too, but Severance is excellent fucking TV. Ben Stiller, one of the best thing Ben Stiller's ever done, and he's done a lot of really good stuff.
So I don't know about the best. Something About Mary was fucking genius. That really
yes,
was.
as a comedy, but I'm saying like as an overall product, Severance season 1 might be the best overall thing Ben Stiller's
Severance
ever
is
directed.
really fucking good.
It's really good, Joe.
And what's Adam Scott is amazing in
Yeah,
it.
everyone's good. Everyone's fucking good in it. Christopher Walken is amazing in it.
Totoro
Totoro is
great.
amazing, and the dude from the
another example of your woke weaving there, Totoro and Walken.
Succession live streams in 11/7. I'm down for the boys. Severance ripped off Cyberpunk. What really happened tonight? He got reunited with his brother, but how did that progress the story? What came out of it? Joel getting stabbed is the only consequential event, says Maddie Man. So we're gonna get into this tonight. Let's start this.
Wait. It wasn't necessarily him getting stabbed, but it was him pulling the fucking
he did pull the blade.
bat tip out.
When he knows better, we've got over this. He fucking knows better.
When everybody on Earth fucking knows better.
A lot of people.
Ellie probably knew better.
A lot of people haven't heard of Severance. Someone said they haven't heard of Severance because it's on Apple TV, which
is bullshit.
Which also has a amazing show that I want to talk about, but I don't know the opportunity to talk about it, with Harrison Ford and Jason Segel, called it's like a show about therapists and shit. It's a comedy. It's made by the Scrubs creators. It's really funny. It has Krista Miller's in it as well, but Harrison Ford kills it, and Jason Segel is. If you like Jason Segel, you got to watch this. It's classic Jason Segel kind of stuff, and him and Harrison Ford have really good chemistry together, and it's good to see Harrison Ford play an old I don't give a fuck kind of character. Anyways, let's get back to this episode. We start off right where we left off at Henry's death, shooting himself. We fade to a snowy landscape and we talked about this earlier, Joe. Did we need to, and we're going to get to all your voicemails tonight, everybody. Don't worry, we'll get back to those. We'll take a pause in a second, but did we need to see Henry's death? It reminded me of a video game or like a cutscenes where something's explained and then another character in game explains what was just explained in the demo mode. I don't think we needed the overindulgence of Henry's death at the beginning of the episode, but it was a good way of, or an intense way of starting the episode, as you said.
Why? Why is it an intense way of starting the episode? Like, you have scenes from last week. That's gonna end with a bang. Right? Like,
I might do some Mando, Mad Sinister. I don't know if Joe watches Mando.
I don't.
And Tony hates it too, so I'd have to do that one alone.
I don't watch any fucking Disney shit at all anymore. Done.
No, I don't blame you. Let's continue with this episode, but talk about.
But no. So I don't even know where I was.
We were talking about the intro, the showing Henry's death.
Yeah, you just don't. You don't need it. You have the scenes from last week. You know that's gonna play. Anybody else that's catching up later or that's watching, that's binge watching the fucking season or a few episodes in a row, saw it 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Because they skipped all the shit and went, start next episode. Like, you know that the future of fucking every kind of media platform is streaming and binge watching. That's not even the future. That's the fucking present.
It's
you're on the archaic platform right now, and even your archaic platform has scenes from fucking last week.
Honestly, it's almost streaming is even passe, or like binging is. That now they're onto these like weekly release things again. They're trying to sneak back into it. Banzai, it's amazing. I'm enjoying shrinking a great deal. Harrison Ford, it's one of the best things Harrison Ford's done in a long time. He's really inspired in his performance. Anyways, so we fade to a snowy landscape and a dude coming to a shack. At first I thought it was Joel, but it isn't. He comes in with the rabbit. He's going to cook it up like Artie Bucco. He comes inside, and his wife is there, and Joel's holding her at gunpoint and points and disarms the dude. And this turns into a comical kind of interaction. It's very funny, Joe. Like, the dialogue here was snappy and witty. I very much enjoyed the scene. You talked about this at the beginning of the episode. The husband and wife had good chemistry. Joel and Ellie were both like immediately like a comedic team, like Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis in this scene. This scene was very funny to me.
Yeah, well, even like they do the 3-month jump, and as funny as this scene was, it's also very telling about Joel and Ellie's relationship right from the get-go. Can I come down now? He obviously told her to get up there and don't make a fucking sound. No. And then she jumps down. And then put that rabbit back. And she's like, fuck that.
Fuck
she
that.
I'm taking the rabbit anyway. He didn't tell her twice. He didn't like argue with her or any kind of shit like that. Right? And then there's another point where she just looks at Joel and tells him what to do or what to say again, just like a flashback from Tess. I don't think that's this scene, but like.
But no, we see that kind of stuff too to show that Joel works in that kind of context where he has somebody driving the car for him to
right.
Which interestingly gets played differently later in the episode with Tommy and Maria, where they make Joel out to be like Walter White and bringing Jesse along to do horrible things with Tommy. And I don't think it was like that. I don't know how Tommy's framing things like, I killed all these people because my brother made me do it. I don't know if he's saying that, but it definitely came off that a lot of it was that Joel was like the Batman corrupting Robin.
She's a fucking DA, right? Like that's what I always.
She was building a case against Joel.
Like if you're a DA, right? You know that one of your best and most used tools is, well, you were with them when they did this shit, even though you were outside in the car and had no idea, even though you were in the other room and had no idea, and they had just murdered someone in this room. Like you didn't. You were like, if you're in a gang with someone and someone does shit, like you go down for that shit. Like
Joe, to the question that Tommy
was murdering fucking people too. Oh yeah, he was a fucking adult.
Now,
at what, 30-something years old?
It's not the Batman influencing Robins. Maddie Man in the live chat asks a point or makes a point, and I'm going to raise it to a question, Joe. Joel is very toxic. Is Joel a very toxic person? Are people worse off interacting with Joel?
Joel's not toxic at all. I don't think there's nothing in the game that shows me Joel is a toxic person. There's no point in the game where you feel like you are doing the wrong thing. I've talked about you go across the country and you are murdering people left and right. But what?
But it's not Grand Theft Auto. You're doing the right thing.
You're doing the right thing the whole fucking time. Not only are you morally doing the right thing, but in all honesty, these people and things that you're killing along the way.
Maddie, I know it was a joke. I'm just asking the question. I'm just asking the question. I don't want to hold Maddie to making that point. Maddie Dodge, he was making a joke, but I'm just asking the question in general, just because it was brought up tonight by Maria.
And other people might think that it's not a.
Yeah, we're not piling on you, Maddie. It's just
that's a question people might have.
Maria raised that question tonight by again.
It's been raised multiple times through the series. It's talked about in the hallway when Joel and Ellie first meet. I know what you're capable of. What's he capable of, or some shit like that, or what like. It's mentioned a few times that Joel is a person of fucking action.
Yep.
When you need people murdered, if it's for the right fucking reasons, Joel's gonna go fucking murder you. Or beat you up, or break your leg,
or both, or all of the above.
Whatever it needs doing, if it's for the right reasons, he's gonna go do it.
So to continue into our episode here, he comes inside, he asks about his brother. We have this whole scene. We don't have to take this scene beat for beat, but there's just a lot of real good comedy and real good acting in this scene by all four people. All four people kick ass in this opening scene, and we get a little backstory on the area. Joel asks, does anyone ever come out here? And husband says, where are we? He asks, did you tell him the truth? Are you telling me the truth right now? They're speaking a little bit of code, and they're way out of here. Not a lot of infected. They ask about Tommy and the fireflies. She jokes, yeah, we get fireflies in the summer.
He when he walked in and she's sitting there the way he knew something was up before Joel came out, and Joel knew he knew before he came out.
She made them soup. She fed them.
And he saw all that shit too. He knew it wasn't just you made him soup, but he saw two bowls. He knew that she wasn't eating that soup.
Yeah.
Because she was waiting for the fucking rabbit, right? She was waiting for him to come home. She didn't make the soup early. Not for her and this guy. She wouldn't have served herself, right?
The General Grievous says Joel is not toxic. He is the GOAT. They also mentioned don't go west past the river. It's death. No one's ever gone there. They talk about the Death River. They're and it'll be hard to recap every point of dialogue. There's a lot of motherfuckers by Ellie here, and Bella Ramsey, for whatever it's worth, has won me over completely at whatever I was.
She leans into the foul mouth. Right?
Yeah, she fucks good. She says the word fuck good.
And we're gonna see that she gets in trouble for swearing all the time.
We see it a little bit in
Cedra.
tonight. We see it a little bit in tonight's episode, a little bit where where we put her in a polite environment, so to speak, and she's just hilarious. She's like you and me in a nice restaurant.
No.
Me.
No.
Like me in a nice restaurant.
And see, like I used to deal with this shit. Like Big Dad. Big Daddy used to be like, he'd be like, dude, if I invite you over, you can't be. You got to be, dude. I don't invite you over. Like he didn't want to invite me to graduation. I'm sure like. He didn't want to invite me to like a lot of things that like big events, but he did. But like, he's like,
Matt stresses a lot.
Like, dude, I clean up nice. I went to an all boys Catholic prep school.
Oh, stop being damn defensive, dude. Stop.
Like, come on now. I know how to be a proper gentleman.
Yeah. You're less like that than me. I'm the one who's
even when I'm intoxicated. Believe it.
I'm the one whose voice tends to carry in public situations, and I curse in inappropriate situations. Bella Ramsey is good as Ellie. She is. She completely won me over in the character, and she's working for me. So blah blah blah. They have this whole interaction in the beginning. We could break this down point for point, but they have a lot of really fun dialogue.
And we should, because this is probably the best into this.
No,
of the two great scenes in this episode.
There were a lot of great scenes in this episode, Joe.
Two great scenes.
The dude's like, "Don't go west, it's death."
Excuse me, by the way.
You're not excused.
Yeah, appropriate. I say.
Push that damn mute button. And for the record, this is the first time Joe's drank in a year.
Hey, dude. Like a year and 3 months. This is it.
This is it. This is dangerous. I might not get through the recap tonight. So we go west of the river. Joel's like, don't go. He's like, what's west of the river? Death. Well, we're not scared of the Death River. And Ellie steals the rabbit, and Joel starts having his first panic attack. And Ellie's like, dude, if you're dead, I'm fucked. And
maybe second panic attack. Yeah. If we count a panic attack when he took those hydrocodones.
And she's like, listen, we're good. Let's cross the river of death. We'll be fine. So they walk and they walk. We get some excellent landscape shots and some really good acoustic guitar music as we see the river, what we think is the river of death. And she's like, ooh,
music's
scary.
Ripped right from the game. The music through the whole fucking thing is all the music effects are ripped from the game, and they're beautiful.
Great.
It works so well.
No, really well. And this whole scene right here, someone earlier, I forget who it was, so I'm not giving you credit because I forget who said it, said that the tracking shot, the big large landscape shots was like Breaking Baddy, and I agree with that. It was very Breaking Baddy with the wide shots, and it looked very cinematic. This episode looked beautiful. Looked fucking beautiful.
What I need people to do is, now that you've had 6 episodes of this,
I'm worried. Where's this going?
And you've heard the music and you've heard the soundtrack, right? I want you to go back and watch, like, just before they get to the Nerf armor people in The Walking Dead.
Oh,
listen to that.
Why are you bringing that show into this?
Listen to the theft. Listen to the theft.
You've been waiting.
Someone else brought it up earlier.
You've been waiting.
There's so much more that I haven't said because I'm trying to ignore it. But someone brought it up earlier. I think Chicago or someone.
So speaking of which, let's get to it. Let's get to another voicemail while we're waiting.
Yeah. It was the brilliant chick in Chicago that brought up that fucking shit earlier about the Walking Dead stealing shit.
This is another two of our friends are from area code 773. This is our other 773 caller.
It's your favorite bastard calling once more. I'm hearing The Walking Dead, and I was just wondering too. Is it just me, or is Maria giving Michonne vibes? I don't know, it's just me. Someone that watched this with me said that the series is going towards a more woke vibe. I mean,
Get used to
I'm
it.
not.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking
Life
about that.
is going there. Enjoy it.
Enjoy.
If the woke vibe thing has always gotten me because it seems like a thing that's. It's like, are you woke? Well, if you mean by do I try to understand and grasp what other people in life might be going through, or other points of view, or not mind seeing it on my television, then I guess so. But label it what you want. I call it being a good person.
And let's get into
like it. Why does it matter what it is? Like what's and so it's an interracial thing again, because that's the callback from Joel's relationship that had an interracial child, and that was woke. And like, dude, these things happen. Like, I have a friend in life who has 2 children of mixed background. Oh, wait a second. No, I don't. Every friend I have in life has children of mixed fucking backgrounds. Even when they're from the same fucking background, they're mixed fucking backgrounds, for Christ's sake. Like, why is this a big fucking deal? Like, people fly all over the fucking world and inseminate people from other parts of the fucking world. That's the way it goes. She's hot. He's hot. They fuck. That's what happens.
People are hot. They fuck. So Eric,
this chick Tara walks up to any one of our fucking audience members, or fucking Pedro Pascal for that matter.
Everyone fucks Pedro Pascal.
Everybody fucks them both.
Area code 773 again.
Joe, no, change your decision. Don't choose the opposition. Don't go for Rick, because Rick has plot armor or body armor, whatever it's called. Choose Joel, because do you really want to fight someone who's not going to die because he's a cash cow for someone? If you go up against Rick, you will lose on the sole purpose of plot.
Good fucking point.
Lawyered.
Lawyered.
You're right.
And
You're right. I forgot about Rick's fucking
plot armor. It's gonna
even when he fucking dies off the show, he's not fucking
it's
dead.
gonna
He's
reflect
coming
on
back.
that. And Iron Throne says how babies are made, the Joe Dirty Locks edition. Okay.
Right,
So let's continue. Let's get back to it. Joel duct tapes his shoes. I do that too. We can see some great sky shots. We see the dawn. We see we see him telling her to get down from a tree. You're gonna break your neck, which is very father-like. She asks for some booze at night. He says no at first, but eventually does this. Joe, this is a question I had as I was watching this. When I drank booze as a kid, the first few times that my stepdad or cousins or whatever uncle gave me a sip of alcohol, I fucking hated it. I fucking hated it.
Manischewitz wine and or fucking corn whiskey, 100 proof fucking corn whiskey, moonshine. Those are the first 2 alcohols.
Oh, I can imagine Larry giving you want to drink something? Drink this.
Oh, you want to taste, do you? Sure, have a taste. Manischewitz. Oh, fucking nastiest wine you'll ever drink.
Nasty.
Oh, you want a taste of this? Sure, have a taste. Hands me the fucking the corn whiskey that says moonshine right on it. Like, dude, I still feel the burn from that shit. Like, are you kidding me?
For me,
it was clear corn whiskey moonshine. Like, woo.
Dude, for me it was a warm Budweiser when we were like fishing. Like, it was like a warm sitting out in the sun. I'm like, can I have a sip of a beer? And he like pulled one that was like hanging out in the sun. He's like, drink this. It's like a warm Bud, and I'm like,
I remember the first beer I had was given to me from Goodwin, hockey player Goodwin.
Oh yeah, yep.
His older brother, Jimmy
Goodwin,
gave me a Budweiser.
Look at you calling people out here.
This was like 30 fucking years, 35.
The first
40,
time.
This was like 40 fucking years ago.
The first time I enjoyed drinking was Boone's Farm. The first time I drank like Boone's Farm, that was the first time I actually enjoyed alcohol.
The first time I enjoyed alcohol, I enjoyed it for the first few hours.
And then you ended up in my backyard throwing up?
No. This was at one of my boss's house. Oh, shit. 5 shots of peach schnapps. I remember this. 1 shot of peach liqueur. 3 B-52 shots. 4 Budweisers. 3 shots of whiskey, and 2 Jello shots.
Ooh,
all within like maybe 4 or 5 hours. All with people that were like, it was my
but that's how you
party
use
at my boss's house. I puked off his balcony.
But in
passed out
fairness,
on his bedroom
Joe,
floor.
for
Went
years
to work with him in the morning
for
at
that
6 a.m.
For that point in years after, that's just how you drink. You drink as much as you could, as quickly as you could, and then you'd end up going outside.
You remember the vodka night?
Yeah, that was. I think was
In
that
the
New Year's.
park.
That was New. Oh no, that's different. There was the New Year's Eve time too.
Yeah, the Ilya night.
Yeah.
Anyways,
the
the willow tree night.
We're off track a little bit, but the point is, throw it in the line.
We're way off track.
Throw it in the
Where's that DA? Scrub this shit.
Yeah, scrub this. And keep those flying hearts.
Is she watching again? Shit.
No, she's gonna have us arrested her. Throw the flying hearts in there because I need some distractions. But no, it's relevant because I thought this scene was very well depicted as a dad or an older paternal figure
fuck yeah.
giving their child booze for the first time.
She's holding a fucking gun. You handed her a gun. You're not. Listen, you have a flask. It holds what? 6 to 8 ounces.
Yep.
Maybe that flask, 4 to 8 ounces, somewhere in between there, right? Like, neither one of you is getting drunk at all.
Oh,
and
no.
You know this kid is not going to like it. And if she does, then you never give her another fucking sip.
Steph Snow, my whole friend group had a problem with Southern Comfort for a while until we all burned ourselves out on it. But that was.
I can't even smell that shit.
I can't even.
It smells like puke to me.
Yeah, I can't.
It makes me like I smell Nick.
Okay.
Nick used
Anyways.
to drink that shit by the handle.
Yep. Nope. The last time I drank it was his wedding. Anyways, so she's grossed out by it.
How could you even have drank it then?
You drank some then too.
No. Like 10 years before that was the last time I drank.
Yeah, the wrestling with Matt in the woods.
Ooh, never.
Okay,
No,
so
Soko, no way.
She hated the booze, and Ellie sets it up and says, "So they're gonna. If we set this up, they take my blood, they make a cure. Like, what would you do? What would you do in the perfect situation?" And he says, "I would start a ranch, a sheep because they're quiet and they do what they're told. It's just." It's cute.
Well, you're skipping a little moment.
What was the moment I'm skipping?
So it's in this moment that you're going at, but when she says, "What are we gonna do?" He says, "Whoa,
we." Yeah, what's this we stuff?
What's this we shit? Like, he puts an end to that right there.
You're
like,
right. You're right. Oh, and I actually wrote that down. I just didn't say it. So what do we do? And he is like, we. And she says, fine, you. And he says, maybe a ranch and a sheep farm. Sheep are quiet and they do what they're told. Just you and a sheep. That's
unlike her.
Right. And I like how she made, because this is just an old joke that I remember when we were kids that was always about about dudes fucking sheep. She makes like a sheep fucking joke, which is great. It's really great she made this joke. She's like, "Oh, you and sheep, that's fucking romantic. You're going to be banging the sheep, you sheep fucker." And it was just really good, really just top end dialogue humor. Ellie was ripping him, and it's fun because she's so much faster than he is. And I forgot to mention that during the it was almost like a montage segment of them walking and walking with her just talking and talking. She can talk. She can talk like me on one of these podcasts. She can fucking talk like no one's business.
No, and true. And like anytime,
I love it. She was awesome in this episode.
Here's the thing. Yes, she can talk, and when things get boring and you're standing around doing nothing, she starts gabbing and she starts talking. And
she fills in the space.
She starts
remind
doing
you
all
of
that
it,
kind of shit.
Remind you of anyone?
But when it comes down to it, she knows when to be quiet and all that shit. But the thing is, we could have gotten a lot more of this. We should have gotten a lot more of this.
But we did. Okay, Joe, I agree with you, and we can keep talking about that, and I agree with you. But I also don't want to get past the fact that we got it tonight. So let's celebrate that we actually fucking got it tonight.
No.
Yes.
Dude.
Let's be happy we got a good episode tonight and not necessarily think about the wasted potential of having some wasted time in this situation. I want to be even about it. I just want to be even about it.
So Phil, it's been a month since you got any. It's been 2 months since you got any. It's going on 3 months since you got any.
Don't give me the. Are you Eddie Murphy joking? You're Eddie Murphy joking.
Stop. But this is the 3rd month, right? But this month is your birthday. And so you're like, awesome, I'm going to get some. It's my birthday. And guess what? You didn't get any. So now it's been 3 months and your birthday's now. And we're in month 4. And she goes, okay, sure. And gives you mostly a hand job, blow job. You should be super happy now, Phil. You should be happy for what you got.
Joe, this episode wasn't just a hand
job.
Now,
I'm not saying you deserve anything at all. Don't get me wrong.
No, that's not the point.
Nobody has to be.
No one deserves anything. Yeah, that's not what we're saying. That's not what you're saying.
But you gonna be happy, Phil?
Hey,
you're gonna be like, oh, sweet.
No, what you're saying is this episode was a this was not a starving in the forest. Joe, this was not a starving in the forest and eventually getting a cracker situation. It isn't. No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. This is not an Eddie Murphy. This is not an Eddie Murphy situation, Joe.
Oh, so we've had this.
We've had the anomaly this season is
when did we have this?
The first 3 episodes that you do I have to pull up the tape of Joe? Do I have to? Do I have? No. Do I have? No. But do I have to pull up the tape to you saying that you love the first 3 episodes? You love the first 3 episodes, you drunk bastard.
We didn't have this.
Did you like the first 3 episodes or not? Joe.
We didn't have this.
Joe, did you like the first?
That wasn't what this is about.
I'm asking you a different question now, Joe.
Hey, listen,
did you?
Phil. Do you like that bump?
Did you
in the location that it is?
Remember when you were happy for 3 episodes? Remember when you were happy?
Remember when this happened before in the show? No, because you don't. And this is what we need. We need more of them building that story and that relationship.
I agree with you.
Characters that they said they wanted to give us.
I agree, Joe. I agree with you, but all I'm saying is we got it tonight, so I want to indulge in the fact that we got it tonight.
Enjoy your Ritz.
You're such a douche. So we get sweet sheep romantic shit, Joe. Does that make you happy?
I would rather not. I'm gonna let you eat that whole Ritz on our raft, Phil, because you know what? I don't want the salt.
It's not a salt. The Ritz is great.
I don't want the dry mouth.
I got water too, motherfucker. You can sit there and eat your twigs and berries and seaweed, motherfucker. I'm eating the fucking thing. You know Joe would be doing this for a few episodes. People that have been wanting the Joe rants during The Walking Dead when Joe was apathetic. Here you go. Here you go. Maud Mary says, when Joel said everyone loved the contractors and smirked, that was great. Slim says, you guys are hilarious. Yes, Joe, exactly. Phil's correct. Joe loved the first 3 episodes. He did. He did. I'll bring back the tape. Joe was happy. Happy. He was the happiest since Bing Crosby danced with Danny fucking Kaye. That's what he was. So anyways, so Ellie sets this up. She's like, takes my blood. Joel's a romantic with sheep. She talks about astronauts. Sally Ride is the favorite astronaut name. Is this all dialogue straight from the game, Joe?
Not exactly, but it's pretty much. Like she's an avid astronaut fan. She was really into those comic books.
Okay, so the astronaut thing, but they weren't necessarily taking this dialogue from the game.
Not this part. Not this.
And I thought
I read all the books in the school library. Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, that's stuff. And I thought that was pretty, Joe. And I thought that was pretty good dialogue written here.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
And like maybe some of it happens in like a flashback scene or like this from
Joe, we have a couple of questions in the live chat for you. Ride, Sally, ride. And Puzzle Cat agrees with you. Did we get relationship building in a previous episode? Asking. No, I guess not. We did. This was the best. This was the most relationship building episode that we got. This was the one that also it unfortunately needed to simultaneously be relationship building and progressing the storyline of understanding that they're close. I feel like we missed an episode in between Kansas City. I'll go back to my previous
3
point.
months.
Kansas City should have
We
been
missed 3 months, Phil.
Kansas City should have been one episode, and we should got one episode in between in those 3 months.
Even if Kansas City was right before this one, the episode before Kansas City, or the second half of Kansas City, I should say, should have been more of this shit.
Right.
Should have been from them travel, like most of this shit.
Every other episode should be an episode like this. And then the next episode is the episode of the week. They're in a location. We should get a lot of episodes that are just the two of them interacting. At least that's what I wanted going in. Anyways, let's go. Joe, is this still the best video game adaptation show?
Jury's out.
Okay, well, hold on to that. Puppy
Jury's out. I mean, it was shipping. I don't think I ever fully said yes to that question.
Oh my God, Joe! I'm gonna start playing clips from you a couple weeks ago.
I might have said this is the best adaptation ever, but like
you were
would have been kind of premature to say that on episode 1.
Okay, so
I was still saying it like we're gonna have to see. I don't know where they're going. I can remember calling out like in episode. I remember saying I really liked episode 3.
Yep.
A lot.
And episode 1 and 2 as well. So
but if you remember, there was 3 is where I really started to have my problems. No, sorry, it wasn't. It was in episode 2 with the mouth kiss, with them all running out of the building after Joel and Ellie were well outside of the building.
Thank you,
How would they have known where the fuck they went?
Thank you, Sonic.
So there were lots of problems to begin with as far as that
Thank
goes.
you in the live chat,
but they
Sonic,
are
your boy.
nailing some things.
Okay.
As far as the way the game.
So next in this episode, she tells him that she knew Sam was infected, and she tried to rub.
And Sonic, come on now. You
and-
just heard some examples from. Yeah.
Joe,
come on. I didn't say that shit. Did I not say that shit?
So
Tell me.
Let's continue here.
Dude, now I'm buzzed and I'm drinking coffee, so now I'm gonna be hyper buzzed.
You think the rants are over? They're just getting started. So she tells him that Sam was infected and tried rubbing her blood. And Joel actually handles this better than I thought he was going to do. Says, Marlene's no fool. It is possible to use your blood, but it's probably not as simple as rubbing your blood.
And this is where this is bad tact. You did what?
You rubbed your stuff. I feel like Joel should have been harsher about this, but he was really understandable.
Much harsher. Listen, you've been bitten now twice. Maybe the third time it fucking takes. Maybe the fourth time. Maybe you rub it, cutting yourself open and rubbing yourself up against a newly infected other person isn't the smartest things, like
puzzle.
You want to save the world or not, sweetheart? Don't make me waste my fucking time. That kid could have fucking eaten you alive. That kid could have fucking broken out and eaten me alive. What the fuck is wrong with you? You really thought it was going to work? You just magically thought with your 14-year-old fucking brain that's read a bunch of comic books and about Neil Armstrong on the fucking moon and dreamt a little that this is what was going to work. It was that fucking easy.
Good job. Okay, let's get to
If it was that fucking easy, they would have bled you dry back in fucking Boston. Pint after pint after fucking pint after fucking pint after fucking pint. You don't think that was the first fucking thing they tried, Ellie? When they took your blood?
She's a kid, Joe.
Fucking
Come on.
Come on. She's a kid. Okay, fine.
Kid perspective. That's kid logic.
Apocalypse.
But it's still kid logic. Come
on. It may be kid logic, yes, and I chalked it up to that then too. But this is the moment Joel is supposed to say, "You can't be a fucking kid anymore, Ellie."
Yeah. No, fair. Let's get to a couple of voicemails. This is from area code 419. Got a minute?
Enough of this not listening to me shit. You took the fucking rabbit. He steps out on the porch and shoots one of us in the fucking back. You jump down off the balcony and it distracts me for a second. And his wife chops my fucking leg off with the machete she's got stashed in the fucking chair. Smarten the fuck up, kid. do what I tell you to do. Rule number 1, what I say goes. Rule number 2, keep your stinking mouth off of Tess and my fucking daughter.
And
both of those fucking rules broken in this episode.
Oh, she breaks
Speak
every
the
rule.
Fuck up, Joel.
Yeah, as Maud Mary
Who
says.
was saying that shit? Who was saying that shit in the voicemail earlier? This weak ass fucking Joel breaking down to his brother.
Oh, we're gonna get
fucking nut up, man.
We're gonna get into it. Just like an idiot. Maud Mary says Joel is really losing it. He's becoming soft. Joe, yeah, exactly. I thought you were saying Joe is becoming soft. I was like, what? This is from area code 419.
Hey, so this is Summer. So my question doesn't really have much to do with the game the show that you guys are talking about, but I just had one question and then
who knows what the hell we're talking about.
Sort of another unrelated question. But first is if you're going to be reviewing the show Serve It by Apple. And then the second question is,
what show was it that she said?
Servant or Severance?
Severance. If you said Severance, yes, we will be. I will be talking about Severance, and hopefully Joe will be along. We'll do some stuff with Tony as well on Severance because I know he's gonna be covering on his channel as well. So if you said Severance, yes. The only other Apple show that I'm thinking about covering is the show with Jason Segel. There's another show with Jax on Apple Plus that's not that bad, but not that I really wanted to cover it. But Severance, absolutely.
there is actually a good game show adaptation I think they could do. The game is called A Plague Tale: Innocence. If you can look into that, I think that would be, it's just a video game right now, but I think that would be a really interesting adaptation to a show series that they could do.
Nice.
But it's a pretty cool premise set in the medieval times. Anyway, that's it. I like your show, and have a good night.
Thank you so much for calling on in. I think you're a first-time caller. Very much appreciate your call, and that definitely sounds like a cool idea for a show, and I will check that out.
She made me think, I don't know how she made me think of show I'm watching, Vox Machina.
Good show.
Really dig it.
Okay.
Anime, D&D shit, funny, good.
Definitely.
I like it. I'm only like 3 or 4 episodes into the first season.
Definitely check that out. Let's get to Tracy's messages here. This is area code 773.
Okay, this is Tracy G, part 2 voicemail. So what I was saying was this seems like a checkbox show and not an actual show for the fans or for the video game. They're leaving out too much action, and the action actually plays into...
Servant is a show on Apple. Okay, awesome song. Thank you in the live chat.
I agree with her about...
I'll try to check that out.
About some of the points she's making here.
And someone said it's a different show on Apple, so I will try to check that out since I just happened to, I have Apple, and the only show I watch on it is Severance and the psychiatry show with Harrison Ford and Jason Segel.
The character relationship between Ellie and Joel. Ellie, the actress, is still doing a good job. Pedro, I honestly believe again that it's the directing of him and the way that they're writing his character for him to be a weak man.
Slow.
I prefer
definitely slow. Like he seems slow.
Joel to be the type of man that he was in the video game. That's what I signed up for. But clearly, they wanted to do a checkbox episode. So this directing and writing, this is not Emmy worthy. Like they're trying to win awards, and it's not award worthy.
They're checkboxing all the award, like this scene will get us an award. Oh, no, this scene will get us an award. Oh, no, these cinematography shots will get us the award. Yeah, I see it in that aspect. Yes, like that seems to be what they're going for. They completely, as of this point in time, have completely neutered Joe.
Ooh, interesting.
They have completely neutered Joel. Completely.
You said Joe, but I know you meant Joel.
Yeah. No, because I'm neutered too.
Here on out, I don't think that
that's
true.
They've
neutered
me
too. Off, but with a whole episode dedicated to Ellie running around the mall, I'm really not sure.
I'm not sure about that shit either. That's why they got to cut
it
that
gets
shit
better
out.
for the people who never played the video game or watched the gameplay, because if not, it really sucks.
And what last little bit?
Okay, I had to call back. This is Tracy G again. I had to call back because Joe is so on point with his rant. Ellie is a freaking beast in game 2. Joel was a freaking beast in game 1.
Yes.
He is absolutely right, and we're not seeing any of that, which is
completely neutered.
Driving me freaking crazy. If I wanted to see storytelling, something else that's also on HBO Max, which is a phenomenal show and will have you all in your emotions, is Station 11. The same exact thing in the apocalypse and the man taking care of the little girl, but this show was freaking awesome. They should have had somebody that did action to actually do.
I think so.
This show
with the guy from Donovan,
to give
the
us
brother in Donovan,
more action, and I will continue to say. Dean from Supernatural should have been Joel. Okay, bye.
And let's get back to our recap here.
Yeah, she said that before. She did say that before. I'm still. I feel like they would have done the same thing to him, and it's unfortunate that whoever got this role, if they went and. He's going into it not having seen the game. He didn't play the game.
No, neither one of them played, I believe.
Right? So they're not necessarily feeling how much they've changed Joel. Right?
See, it's interesting.
I'm wondering if even if she got her wish and they put the guy from this is where my point I'm getting at. If she got her wish and they put Supernatural dude in, would they have they would have neutered him just as much, made him feel a little slow as well. Would it have worked for you still? Doing that to the guy who played the guy in the fucking boys?
It's interesting, Joe, because having not played the game, I look at Joel as not soft, but sort of more of an emotional person that's dealing with like a lot of emotional traumas, and in general is a sweet guy. He's not.
He's not dealing with any emotional traumas. This is 20 fucking years later, and this is fucking Cargo, dude. That's what this is.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I have a completely different perspective. I have a completely different perspective because to me, I know a different Joel. I know the Joel I'm seeing on this show right now.
This is a guy who already knew.
Exactly, Jackie. Exactly, Jackie. Joel is soft. Joel is soft. You're calling Joel soft in the episode where he snaps some dude's neck. Come on. He Jack Bowered some dude. He fucking snapped the dude's neck like crack. He wasn't soft.
Dude, I want to point out
he's a badass.
It's the second time Joel tried to use stealth, and it's the second time he fucking failed at it.
Yes, but he's still sorry, done. It's still the second time he's viciously killed someone with his hands too. You can't just have him kill 1,000 people like it's gameplay. You know, like you can't. And I think when they have those opportunities, they show how vicious he can be.
No, they don't show it. They cut away from it.
They do cut away from it, but that's beside the point. So.
Like they blatantly show you the bloater rip some guy's head off because
that's
the big bad evil.
Emily says it's because he's old. That's the point.
They don't even show Kathleen kill the doctor. You just hear the gunshot. They don't show fucking Perry shoot up all the fucking collaborators.
Oh, what? Are you a Klingon all of a sudden?
I'm telling you.
Are you a Klingon? You're bloodthirsty.
All those people that say this
you
shit
Jem'Har
about
Klingon.
Cutting out all the gore. They're cutting out all the gore. They are absolutely cutting out all the gore. Oh, big deal. The bloater. The bloater's the only one that we're going to show you the evilness of what they can do.
Anyway,
otherwise, we're just going to show you the reaction.
Let's continue with the.
Why not let us have our own fucking reaction?
Let's continue with the recap here. And she tells him.
See how else act fucking odd about what they just saw. Let me act odd about what I just saw.
We flash over to Joel being asleep again, and he slept through his watch again, and she wakes him up.
Because he's old.
Because he's old.
He's fucking sleepy Joel Biden over there.
We get the backstory. We get the backstory of her training him instead of seeing it with covering all the faces. What the
That's
fuck?
gonna crack me up.
You crack yourself up, you fucking douchebag. What are you, Jackie Mason, laughing at your own jokes?
Yeah, I really am. That's fucking horrible.
So they continue through the snow trip. She says, "Oh, there's the river of death. Still no people." He's like, "Fine, let's go to the river of fucking death." We get a great cam shot with them heading down the bridge. Joe, the cinematography in this episode was beautiful, huh?
Yes, best part of the episode, man.
You're such an asshole.
The camera work, really good. Really good. And I'm convinced, since you bring it up now during the recap, and this is the right
condescending fuck. You're such a
earlier.
condescending fuck. The camera
work
work was great. Fuck you.
And I almost said this 3 times earlier, but someone's going to have to go back and watch, and someone's going to do this because I said it. But are those the same mountains that were in the background at 10 miles west of Boston?
Oh, stop. Stop. They were
because I don't know.
They were in Western Mass.
I don't know what mountains those were 10 miles west of Boston. But they sure looked like they fit in here.
Listen, stop. Joel's tired. It's great. So they're heading down the bridge. They cross the bridge as ominous music plays, and she's trying to learn how to whistle. Do you remember when you learned how to whistle, Joe? We talked about taking shots. I actually remember this. There was few things I couldn't do. I couldn't whistle. I couldn't snap, and I couldn't walk without falling down. And I couldn't shoot a basketball. Joe helped me with shooting a basketball, but and driving. Yeah, you finally were the one that finally taught me how to drive after many people failed. You finally did teach me how to drive. But this scene, I just think I enjoy the dynamic between the two of them. To your point, I wish we got more of this, but we did get this in this episode, and I enjoyed it. He talks about teaching. She asks about learning to hunt. He says you could hunt, but you can't clean it, or what was it? And she says, "Oh, dress it. You can't dress it." She says it should be called undressing with the guts. Hey, and
it's great dialogue back and forth, and I wish we had more of it.
Mm-hmm.
The Ritz didn't make me thankful I had a Ritz, Phil. It made me want the whole fucking sleeve.
Yeah, but still, it's still better than
kill the motherfucker holding the box if all he hands me is one Ritz.
Yeah, it's better than getting a Market Basket saltine, though. You know, you still got the Ritz.
But if there's only saltines, that saltine is going to taste like a motherfucking Ritz, and I'm going to kill the motherfucker holding the box of them who only handed me one.
I gotta stop and say you guys in the live motherfucking chat have been extra amazing tonight. Keep it going. Keep your motherfucking chats going. Keep the comments. Keep the flying emojis. Keep sharing this out. You guys are amazing tonight. Thank you. Joe. Okay, so they see a dam, and she's like, "Whoa, did that thing like make electricity?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they see another river, and
don't ask me how though. That's right out of the fucking game too.
And she's like, "Eli, is this the river of death?" And they're quickly surrounded by a bunch of folks on horseback that are like, drop the gun. They look like outlaws.
What if? Yeah, they had already crossed one river, so this is the second river.
Yeah, we're way early in the episode. I almost want to yada through because we've talked about a lot of this stuff before. So Ellie's back up, and the dog comes up to her. They do the whole dog thing.
We didn't talk about this shit.
Yeah, the dog thing I thought was done well because I thought the dog was, in my mind, I thought the dog was gonna freak out on Ellie, and it cut to her just being like lovey with the dog, which I thought
the dog was all like, dude.
I thought this was it was. They fucked with us without having the dog growl at first, but I thought this was a good play.
Trope.
No, it wasn't a trope.
That is a trope.
Okay, good. It was a good trope. It was a good trope because we saw it from Joel's perspective. We saw
he's having an anxiety attack. Maybe the dog wasn't growling the whole time.
Yeah, don't be trope police when it doesn't need it. This was a well done scene.
Hey, but here's the thing. What I'm thinking during this whole
I want pizza too, Steph Snow. Come on over. Let's have some pizza.
I don't give a fuck what kind of trained dog you have. You've seen 25% of the dogs that come around me, Phil.
Yep.
What the fuck do?
They love on you. They jump on you.
No. 75% of them love and jump on. You say 75% of them fucking hate me?
Oh, you said 70. Okay, yeah, no.
25% of them, they just do not.
Yeah,
like
they don't
me
like
from
you. They
sight, from
I thought you said
smell.
75%. No, but I would say you have a 95% cat.
It might be all the cats on me.
No, cats. Yeah, I'd say I haven't met a cat. I'm just gonna say 95 to be fair to the 5% that might not like you. But I haven't met a cat that doesn't like you. But I've met dogs that don't.
Either.
I've met dogs that don't like you.
Dogs, yeah, about 1 in 4. Fucking, they don't want to sit near me. They don't come up to me. They growl at me if I try to approach in any type of way. Like, they just don't like me. Like some dogs, lots of dogs. And like, that's the thing. Some people can be intimidating. Some people can have an
You
odor.
also invade their space.
Yeah, I do. Because I just want to love them.
You're like Elmira from the Tiny Toons around animals.
I love them so much, all of them.
You are totally Elmira. You're totally Elmira from Tiny Toons around animals. Be careful around when Joe's around.
I am not.
I'm gonna love you and hug you and kiss you and make you mine. So let's get to a couple more voicemails.
She's one of my favorite fucking characters.
I love Elmira. Area code 81.
You know who her uncle is?
No.
Her name is Elmira Duff.
Like
Elmira
Duffman
Duff.
from The Simpsons?
No. Think about this. Unpack this for a second. Chat, help him out here. Her name.
Elmer Fudd?
Yes! Phil, good job.
Thank you. As I've mentioned before, Joe, you and I would be excellent contestants on the pyramid.
Yes.
On Michael
Yes,
Strahan's $100,000 pyramid. Okay, 81.
I'd be good at giving you the clues, but I'd be horrible getting them.
You'd be like, you'd be going all Joe Pesci on me. What's a fruit that is red that you bite? It's crunchy. It's an apple. Area code 813. Whoa.
Someone's playing a little Last of Us for
Hey,
us.
Phil.
No. I want to hear you talk, but play.
I want to hear you play a little bit.
Yeah, I'm
more of that.
rewinding that, Joe. I'm rewinding them shits, Joe.
Leave another one with a little bit more.
More music, 813.
Especially if you were playing that, not just.
No, that was definitely a live guitar.
It sounded live guitar.
Let's go. Keep sharing this out. Get out to more and more people, folks. Fernandez T, great to see you, buddy.
Hey, Phil. Oh man, what was I gonna say? I did have something to say.
He's like, I got distracted by playing guitar. Awesome.
About that scene from a couple episodes back when Joel says, "Oh, I've been on both sides," and in the games, it doesn't really ever get addressed. Yep. Really, like Elliot is just like, "Oh, cool." But in the show, they kind of go into it, like, discussing morality. That's pretty decent. And that scene between Maria and Ellie was pretty snarky, so I like that too.
Yes. Again, talking about moralities.
Oh, y'all are doing great.
Thank you so much for the call. Thank you so much for the guitar playing. We appreciate it. If you want to leave more, that's great.
There's a lot of that. And this season, believe it or not, even with the Kathleen shit, which is shit, they're setting up a bigger discussion for morality in season 2. And that's a big part of what this game is about, even through all of its so-called, as people put it, their woke statements. It's all about personal moralities, widespread belief moralities. Those get bigger. Like right now we see small ideologies, the Fireflies, or in groups like this, but we get bigger ideologies in the future, which again stem through all the morality issues. Like, this is a big subject through it all.
Now,
And it's like, it's very heavy in this fucking game, and it's all in your face.
Now, Joe, interesting question by Sonic, your boy. Joe and Phil, who's better at guitar? Joe. Joe is way better at Guitar Hero. Most video games, Joe's very
and suckier, much much.
At
so
real music, Joe is suckier.
At all
but,
music,
but
yes.
at rhythm-based video games and video games in general that are competitive, Joe's very competitive, and Joe usually wins at games.
I'm sucky at games, but my competitive streak makes me better than I should be.
Yeah, Joe gets very angry when he loses, and he claims cheating and rants. And Joe rants.
I've never thrown anything at the television. I'll say that.
Never. You didn't throw a glass bottle at a television and say you own it. Okay, so the dog comes out to find.
I didn't. He's not being facetious. That wasn't me.
No, that did it. But did happen when Joe actually had a dog in his lap. So we get some dark music as we focus on Joel, and he thinks that the dog's gonna, but instead it cuts to some lovey-dovey stuff. Then they head in, and it's a full town full of lots of saved folks, older folks. We know it's like we hear hub music from a video game. Like, we know it's a safe area because the music that plays in this scene is like hub music. Hey, we're in a hub area. It's the Barons chat time.
This is the safe, boring music.
Yep, and then Tommy and Joel see each other, and they head to each other. They embrace and ask what the fuck.
But wait, who were the two saps that gave up their fucking horses for Ellie and Joel?
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point. It's a good point. That someone else double rided probably. So
no, I was looking for double riders.
There wasn't another double ride. Someone walked.
And they're gonna explain Ellie's like really like they got a lot of horses. Ellie's been learning to ride in fucking Boston. In the Boston quarantine.
No, she was riding.
She's been riding around in fucking trucks and armored vehicles. She's been riding a lot of horses.
There's a lot of horseback riding in Boston. So we go off. He says, "I'm here to save you," and Ellie looks on, being like, feeling a little awkward because she thinks if Tommy's there, Joel and her will be less close. So we go off to food, and they're eating, and Ellie's like, "This food is fucking amazing. I never had a proper meal." And Ellie's also like, "Give me my fucking gun back." And she yells at a kid that's eye fucking her. She's like, "Stop fucking looking at me, motherfucker." I loved Bella Ramsey in this scene. She was just so like
she's back in prison.
Yeah, fuck you.
Federal school.
Yeah, like fuck you. Get the fuck away from me. Fuck you. I know. I just loved her in this scene. I thought she was great. And Joel was good too, trying to be like, "We need to have manners here," and she's like, "Fuck manners, fuck you." I don't know. I totally dug this scene.
I did like that. I've never had a meal like this in my life. Imagine if she had gotten to Bill's like a couple of days earlier.
Yeah, I mean, they just had SpaghettiOs and soup. That's not
because
too bad.
We know when Bill turned on the radio was when he,
a couple people
dinner time, right?
Without spoilers, a couple people in the live chat have said, "Joe, we see Dina." What does that mean? Did you see a Dina?
I think that was her.
Okay, so we did see a Dina. Is that a character from the second game?
Yes.
Okay. So I love how you.
That's a good call. I wasn't even thinking about who. I wasn't even. Oh, now I'm. See. I started drinking at the start of the episode.
Don't blame the alcohol.
And so I wasn't. But this is why we talk. This is why I watch it 2 or 3 times. I'm gonna have to take a better look next time. I have to see if I can get a good look at the character, and then maybe get a good look at who they cast, or who is casted, or who's playing the role for next season.
Kyle, not yet. We will do a spoiler cast at some point, Kyle, but don't mention that character quite yet.
That's a possibility, but it could also be the other person. Well, judging by how they're just fucking zipping through shit, I don't think we're gonna get any of that like spoiler talk that I'm not going to talk about.
Right. We'll talk again, as we said, we will do a spoiler cast at some point after the season, maybe the week after the final episode.
That'll talk about the second game and what happens in the second game
exactly. What I've been spoiled enough that I know what happens, that I can do a podcast with Joe, and we'll see if Tony can jump on that too, where we get what we hope to expect from season 2.
We'll talk about season 1 television show, game 2, video game 2.
Right. But
and what's changed from season 1, what we
no,
would
Kyle,
expect
Kyle,
from
you're fine. You can mention the character name, but we just don't want to get too far into it. So we go off to Ellie, and she's like, "The food's amazing." Yeah, and Tommy comes in, talks shit to Ellie, and she talks shit to Ellie, and they go back and forth. And we find out that Tommy is married, and she says congratulations, and Joel's just dumbfounded
and pregnant.
And pregnant. We don't get that till later, but she's also pregnant. And well, yada yada.
You couldn't tell. You couldn't tell by the glow.
She had the glow.
Can I just say, worst character ever, Tara.
From the Walking Dead. Oh, Tara from. Okay, I didn't watch it. So she says congrats. Our mutual friend Carmine warned me off about it. He's like it starts off good, but it ends so.
It starts off good, and
Carmine said it ends so bad that don't even start it.
Oh,
that's what he told me.
You might have fun watching a season or two, but like literally the moment Sookie turns her into a fucking vampire, it's done. It's like done. It's done before that, but like.
Spoilers. So Tommy, we get a Christmas tree. We get the area comes together. Maria says stays off the radio, and Joel and Tommy look back and forth. Like Joel's like, that's why you haven't been in contact with me. Your wife won't let you. There's some sheep,
which is bullshit.
There's some sheep.
Even if you sent like, okay, so what is it? Like you're playing radio song, like music from decades. Even if you just send one message. Tell Joel in Boston I'm fine.
Yeah, or do some.
And it will be out of communication for a while. And then play your little 80s music before and after it, or whatever. Like,
so
okay.
There's also sheep, and we forgot to mention.
Gotta have a way. Like,
we forgot to mention earlier when Ellie's talking to Joel and mentioning what he used to do. He used to be a contractor, and it's sexy. Is that from the game? Does he mention he used to be a contractor and all that sort of shit? And is it...
not in the meaningful way. I was done here. I gotta give some of this beer back.
Yeah, Joe's going to the little boys' room, so I'll zip through a little bit of the recap here. So we get some. Let me play some music here. We'll kick through a little bit of this recap. Here we go. So we get a Christmas tree, and we hear this area coming together. Maria stays off the radio. Tommy is like, don't talk about it. Don't mention anything. Shh. This is between you and me. Waiting for Joe to come back. So there's sheep and plumbing and lace and work. There's a council of 300 people. They're all shared in a collective opportunity. It's like communism. Communism is a red herring. Red herring. We get horses. I like horses. Ellie doesn't want to be left, but Joel wants some time with Tommy. I don't know why I'm doing that stupid voice, but it's okay, because sometimes I like being babbly all by myself. So we get horses. Joel does not like this. Eli, I spelt it wrong. Ellie does not want to be left alone. But Tommy and Joel go to the saloon for some drinks. And they talk and they drink and they drink and they talk. Tommy's talking about some bacon. He's like, we're almost got some bacon. Bacon's pretty cool. If we get bacon, we got Christmas trees, bacon and Christmas trees. Everything is fucking awesome. Then Tommy asks about Tess. Joel lies and says she's fine. Asks about Ellie and he lies again. Says the Fireflies are a week away. And it's, it's kind of fucked area, but we can get up there. You can get up there, no problem. You're a man that has a legitimate set of skills. He asked Tommy to come with him, and Tommy's like, fuck no. I ain't going shit. I ain't coming anywhere. I got family. I can't worry about that. And he's like, come on, your wife doesn't let you talk to me. Is that why you're not talking to me on the radio? And he's like, I'm not just married. I have a kid coming. And Joel's
a complete fuckhead here.
And Joel gets completely fuckheady right here. This is
why Tommy left his ass in the fucking first place.
Joe, it would be like if you were telling me you and Katie were celebrating your 35th anniversary or something like that, and I was like, well, that's great. I'm divorced. Fuck you. And I was just like, and just had that kind of attitude about it. Like, who gives a fuck? Fuck me. Like, fuck my stupid shit. Like, I'll be happy for you. Like, shut up.
And this is like, he becomes a complete dick.
He does become a dick cheese here. He's very dick cheesy.
Like, are we just gonna like? I don't know why. It's uncharacteristically dicky.
Is it?
And,
is it?
They have a little tension and shit between them in the first place, it all plays out slightly different. It's all about past shit and not necessarily like it just this seemed like a weak play, but it was
See, I
it was
thought
emotional.
See, I
but
thought it was
wasn't
very
like,
I thought it was very appropriate for what we know of what I know of Joel's character, that
that was forced upon you this fucking week.
that he had that through all of this
Oh,
he
right,
doesn't
you knew
he
about
doesn't
this.
emotionally deal with the consequences of what happened to his daughter, so being reminded of a situation like that to
He
reopen
doesn't emotionally
to
deal with the
reopen the
consequences.
wound makes
We know that. We know that.
makes him swing his fists.
Whoa,
I thought it was
whoa.
dictated well.
Whoa, what in the show has told us that he has not emotionally dealt with what happened with his daughter? Shit
It's
went down with his
understood.
daughter.
It's understood.
It's understood. It's understood, but they have to do all this character building and development and storytelling with stupid shit. But it's understood that Joel never dealt with it emotionally. How? Why? It was his daughter fucking died 20 years later. His brother's not with him anymore. He's with a woman named Tess. But Joel is completely shut down emotionally. What makes us think he's shut down emotionally? He's with a woman named Tess. They're bound at the fucking hip together. Like they have such a
No,
close
he's just
fucking bond.
continuing the same dynamic he basically had with Tommy, where
Listen,
he's just
they know each
surviving.
No.
He's
They know each
just
other's-
surviving. He's not
No.
actually interacting and emotionally engaging.
No. They know each other so well and trust each other so much. And however their relationship is, that she comes in after being gone for however long she is, battered and bruised, and just fucking climbs in bed with him.
Joe, you remember?
He's not like, where the fuck have you been? I've been worried. None of that shit. He knows.
Joe, you remember?
Like, there's a very strong bond there that doesn't tell us that he hasn't dealt emotionally. It tells us that he has dealt with it emotionally. He knows how to protect himself to still be in a what is obviously at least a 10-year relationship. They've been together for a long fucking time.
As far as we know, they have. Joe, do you remember this? One of our old school callers.
I had to get drunk as hell last night. I gotta be honest with you. After that episode,
Had to get drunk as.
What did Joe think? What did Joe think?
But yeah, no. There's nothing that says that he hasn't dealt with it. So it didn't make much sense to me. And the only other part of this that rings true is what they kind of force on you in this episode with the all of a sudden, like, they're bringing up Joel's mumbling in his sleep every time, and he's getting faint of heart and panic attacky all of a sudden out of fucking nowhere. That all comes about and is focused on in this episode and forced upon you. It really rings to me of the, not only is this kid deaf, but this kid had
It
leukemia.
rang true in this
Not only
episode.
Did this kid
It
get
rang
cured
true.
from leukemia, but now he got bit.
Joe.
Not only did this kid get bit, but his brother had to shoot him.
Joe.
Not only did his brother have to shoot him, but his brother shot himself.
I hear what you're saying, and it's very funny.
Like,
But
force that shit upon you.
I still think it worked.
It didn't.
It
really
did.
didn't. It really didn't. And again, like the caller said earlier, it really neuters Joel's character. This is another scene that takes away from everything that made Joel is a fucking beast, and he teaches Ellie how to be a fucking
This
beast.
is a different Joel.
This is not this. Oh, sure.
It's TV Joel.
And guess what? You're right, Phil. You're right, Phil. That's exactly what it is.
It is.
It's TV Joel. Oh, yeah. Let's get the TV Joel in there. Let's see how many TV tropes we can throw upon Joel. That's exactly what this shit is. Good job, Phil. It is TV Joel.
I didn't write him.
Fucking cinematic Joel. This is not award-winning Joel. This is TV Joel. That's what this shit is. You are right, Phil. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Let's do a voicemail.
Neutered as fuck.
I didn't say
ready to
that.
be-
You're
no.
You're
This is-
editorializing.
You know what this is? This is neutered as fuck. Ready to be syndicated to the CW television.
Stop with the
already
CW.
gore edited. Already boob edited. Already cleaned up for fucking syndication. Nah, there are no real boobs in the game, but still, point is made. Tell me it's not. The most gore we have, the most egregious thing we have on screen, if it's not the burning of a child body, the mass grave with a child body, or the shooting in the head of a child, then it's the right. Then it's the head being ripped off by a bloater. But one of those four things is the most gory, and none of them are actually that gory. It's already made for syndication.
It's emotionally gory, Joe.
Where?
His daughter.
With Frank.
His
and
daughter. And his daughter. Yep.
That's the only two. Oh wait, I guess Henry and Sam were
Dude,
emotional.
stop this.
We lost their ninja.
Stop
They had their ninja skills are lost now.
Stop with the CW though. Like seriously, come on, you're going too far with the CW talk.
I don't know why. I don't know how. What is this?
This isn't fucking Arrow. We're not watching Flash season 4.
I don't know. It really feels like all the tropes are there.
You haven't even watched.
I'm sure Flash has done all of these tropes.
You haven't watched those shows. Shut up.
I did watch. You made me watch season 1 and 2.
I didn't
Arrow.
make you watch.
And
shit.
yes, you did.
I think I did. Anyways, let's.
And you're telling me I did not watch Flash?
No, I know he's your favorite superhero. Okay, let's listen to a couple more voicemails here before.
I could pull out a binder.
Stop.
Right
No one wants you to pull anything out,
That's
Joe.
got 150
Joe, don't pull
Flash
anything.
comics,
Joe, don't pull any.
Silver Age,
Don't.
and a couple Golden Age.
No one's
right
No one's questioning
right
your
underneath this Walking Dead comic.
No
Both
one.
of these Walking
No
Dead
one's questioning your Barry Allen or Wally West love. You don't have to pull
I
any.
haven't read
You
those, but-
don't have to pull. You don't have to pull anything
Well,
out.
I
Okay, area code 773.
Hey, Phil, I just huh?
What?
What?
Dude.
What? You're back? What? What's going on? What's going
I'm
on?
listening to the show.
What's going on?
The other Chicagoan
What do
says
you-
I'm black.
What the fuck's going on over there?
The way she said it was so funny.
What's going on over there? Okay.
What?
I don't know what was going on over there. So area code 309.
Evening, gentlemen. Chat.
Evening.
This is Slim Genzi from the chat.
Hi, Slim.
Calling to give my thoughts. I actually thought this episode was pretty solid for the most part. The pacing was a little bit fast, but it wasn't terrible. They got a lot.
So is it fast?
They got a lot into the episode that touched on the.
See, it was good.
On the majority of like the big parts that you kind of want as far as like dialogue, like the argument that Ellie and Joel had was straight out of the game, which is talking about she'd be more afraid if she went with Tommy.
Yeah, we're gonna
instead
get
of
to that
Joel.
in a few minutes.
Like if Joel was gonna leave.
Really
her.
well done.
It's like straight out of the game. The only thing that I would have changed, because we haven't got a ton of it in the entire show, and it was like kind of at the forefront of the game still, because you're playing through it, is at the end of this episode, it needed to be like 15 minutes longer and give us the firefight that Joel and Ellie had getting out of that biomedical center.
Yes.
They could have done it 10 to 15 extra minutes.
That
It
should
wouldn't
have been much bigger.
Anything crazy, but just give us something instead of just giving us dialogue the entire time.
Pause them up. So what that would have done for you is given you the exact same episode that you had last week. Only it would have been focused on the character building between Joel and Ellie instead of the character building and the relationships between the four of them, including Sam and Henry, right? And then culminating to this big action sequence at the end, which is pretty much kind of what happens here, except it's a tiny little shit action sequence again, packed with a culminating, shitty TV trope. Right down to the carpenter who's been surviving in the apocalypse for 20 fucking years, pulling the fucking thing out of his fucking stomach.
And I want to thank Xavier so much for the super chat donation. Very much appreciate it, my friend. What kind of medieval tampon is that? Tommy asks Tess.
Right, the cup.
Tommy asks Tess about Joel. He says he's fine. Okay, so Joel is like, guess you're a good dad, Tommy. I asks her to come with him, and he's like, no, I'm not coming with you. So drunk Joel heads out, having another panic attack or something. He looks and sees a girl from behind that kind of looks like his daughter, and he flashes. Great acting in this scene by Pedro. I thought this scene in particular was really well done by him. He dictates all this emotion and everything in the scene, like seeing the person that looks like his daughter and having this panic attack without a word.
Oh, come on, tell me it's not.
Who cares if it's good? Everything is everything's been done before. If it's acted well,
it's not good.
Maybe I just like good acting more than you. I like the acting in this scene, and it sold it for me. Are you having a heart attack? Are you okay?
Yeah, thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil. I just made you think the same thing you thought of fucking Pedro. Guess what? I didn't get paid millions of fucking dollars to do.
Act.
Yeah, maybe I should. If you thought I was having a heart, come on now.
Is this an Anthony Hopkins? Are you going to trash Anthony Hopkins?
No. I'm not trashing Anthony Hopkins. I'm trashing writers who decide to write the same fucking scene over and over again to 30 different fucking actors. Or, I've never written this scene before. Let me see if I can write it with these actors. Because I've seen the scene 300 times, and I think these are the words that should be said during it instead. I think this is the way he should look longingly at the back of someone who he mistakes as his daughter while he's almost having a panic attack or a heart attack. We don't know yet. Are you fucking kidding? Come on. It's been done. It's been done. It's been done. It's been done. It doesn't make it good because this other
and it also doesn't make it bad. Just because something, Joe.
It does. What it does is it makes you go, really? I've seen this 100 fucking times.
Fair,
and really?
but
You haven't seen it done better, Phil? Honestly, Pedro's done it the best. The 4,000 times you've seen him do this.
I didn't say that.
Pedro's
I said
done
this
it
was
the
a
best.
good scene. That
It's
everything.
not a good scene.
Yeah, it is a
And
good
by
scene.
The sheer fact
it was a good fucking scene.
Times before. It's been done 1,000 times before. Nothing makes it good. That doesn't make it good because someone else is doing it.
I completely diminish your whole point.
You don't diminish it. You just say it's good because you liked it. You offer no actual fact aside from someone else is doing it. But that doesn't make it
no,
good. Unless you think it's better
my
than
fact.
what,
My
50%
fact
of the
is
times you've
my
seen it
fact is
before?
just because something's been done before doesn't mean it can't be done good again.
Correct. You're absolutely
and
correct.
this was done well.
How many remakes of Stairway to Heaven do you need to fucking hear before you realize that Jimmy Page did it best?
This
And he
isn't
didn't do
Stairway
it
to
first,
Heaven.
And he didn't
This
do it
isn't
first.
Stairway to Heaven.
And he didn't do it first, but he still did it.
Again, I'll say it again. You get the game too far up your ass and you're not enjoying the show.
Seriously, that's my point. How many times do you need to hear Stairway remade before you know Jimmy Page did it best, even though he didn't do it first?
Oh, are you talking about the other artist that wrote Stairway?
Yes, because there is. It absolutely fucking is. Bullshit. I can't believe that they like whatever. But that's the truth behind it. So if it's done a million fucking times, you might hear one or two versions that you fucking like, but you've heard that song before and you know it's been done better before. Doesn't make it good. Doesn't make it something that's worthy of.
And I also don't think it immediately.
Like,
and I also don't think it immediately devalues it or makes it bad just because something's been done before.
Out of everything
no, many actors have done Hamlet, but each performance is good and unique and multi-layered, and still it's the same performance. Whether it's Lawrence, whether it's fucking whoever's doing it, like many different actors of different ages did that similar parts or Shakespeare over and over again, and it can still be well done even though it's the same plays done over and over again.
Okay, audience, raise your hand if you think Hamlet is good. How about fucking that?
Fuck your anti-Shakespeare bullshit.
How
Okay.
about that?
So let's continue here. So drunk Joel heads out having another panic attack.
Not to be.
That is the question, Joe. Whether it's
right, like to do this scene again.
Oh my God.
Or not to.
Now you're hating
That
on.
is the
Now you're
question.
hating on Shakespeare.
You're
such a
shouldest
dick.
Thou question thy own morality.
Your asses is shove it up your balls. Shove it. Shut up. Shut up.
Like,
Let's continue with
the difference is like there's a.
Let's continue with the recap. So, we see Ellie showered and she's pumped. She finds a note with some clothes and a female hygiene product, as the live chat has been joking about. And she heads over to Maria's house. Ellie looks around. Maria got her a jacket that's a big purple fucking thing and an eggplant. And she's like, I'm cutting your hair too because it looks nasty.
And a big pink hoodie. Here, sweetheart, I know you have a hard journey ahead of you through the wilderness, avoiding marauders, rapers, and murderers.
Fucking
Not to mention clickers, runners, bloaters, and whatever else we don't know about. But you know, here's the brightest colored shit I could fucking find or trade for you.
Dude.
Have fun storming the castle.
Dude, shove it up your Miracle Maxon ass over there, okay? Iron Throne says, Joe is right. Shakespeare's overrated. Hamlet is overrated.
Thank you. Keep coming.
Maud Mary says, okay, I guess I couldn't understand if someone was allergic to tampons. Joe is right. Willie P's dying of laughter. Puzzle Cat says, to rant or not to rant? That is the question. Unit says, great to thank you so much, Unit. Best show review ever. Heineken with the super chat donation. Joe is ready to take his PS5 and go home and cry. Thank you. Thank you. It's a fucking eggplant show. An eggplant. Maria is like, and thank you everyone that's joining us today. You guys are fucking amazing. So Maria and Ellie, who have some fun chemistry, and they have there's a memorial. She mentioned
fun chemistry. This woman is way over fucking line. And if I were Ellie, I'd be half a second away from stabbing her in the fucking throat. Are you fucking kidding me? She oversteps so much more than she does in the game. As far as I'm concerned, Ellie should have her fucking hackles up completely. Especially with the fucking gift. Like, all of it. Like, yes, practical, nice, purposeful, well thought out, but still probably kind of creepy to receive.
Yeah, it's
maybe kind of embarrassing. I don't know. She wasn't too embarrassed coming out of that.
It was like Gul Dukat.
The ditch with the box of tampons.
It was like Gul Dukat giving Kara a dress to dress. Is like, dress like this.
Like rather presumptuous that like, I haven't got this shit figured out yet.
Yeah. And then she cuts her hair and all that sort of shit. Okay, so then they go to a movie.
Maybe she knew by checking out like clothing when your clothing got burned.
And then
I've seen what's happened in them.
And then they go to a movie and they watch a movie and it's hilarious and everyone's laughing. And Tommy goes and finds Joel, who is hooking up some supplies. And Tommy comes in. He's like, I figured you'd be here. I know you're happy for me, but it's complicated. He asks Tommy if the mission is a death mission to see the Fireflies. Tommy says, no, you can make it. And he tells Tommy that she's immune. And Joel breaks down and basically says, I'm weak. I can't do anything anymore. I need you to do this for me because I'm broken down and weak and can't do anything anymore. Is this similar as in the story? Does he beg Tommy to do this for him because he can't do it anymore?
Yes, when he meets up with Tommy, he's basically like, dude, you got to finish this mission. It's becoming too hard for me, but it's done a little differently. It isn't really. He doesn't unload the way he does.
He says here, I'm deaf and slow. He tells about Henry, tells the story.
Yeah, there's already he doesn't unload and recap the fucking whole season.
Yeah, he recaps. He recaps like us doing a recap.
Seriously, it's a little bit overdone, and as far as I was concerned,
he begs Tommy to take her. And Tommy eventually relents and agrees and says, I will take her at dawn. He says, this can bring
it was still touching.
Yeah, she had the cure. It was good to see them together. And I know trope police Joe, and it's been done before, but again, I think you can't deny, Joe, you can't deny that the acting is high quality on this show. There's not other than
Have you heard me say it?
other than
about
one
anybody
person,
aside from who?
Yeah, we don't have to talk. We don't have to talk about her. But yeah, other than Kathleen, I feel like
and here's the thing: her acting wasn't bad.
No, the actress is
writing,
fine.
The direction, like
yeah, we
the
don't have to.
believability.
We don't have to talk about her. But that's my point, Joe. That I think that within, we don't have to say Shakespeare or any play or any certain structures of like even commedia like dell'arte or whatever. You go into certain styles if there's good acting and performance and good cinematography. It's okay if we touch upon a few tropes if things are well done.
Stop with that. I'm not
Stop
going
at
to say no
that.
to. I'm not going to say no to that. But what I am going to add is the caveat of right now we just finished 6 episodes.
Yep.
And the major arc of 2 of those, 1/3 of what you have seen revolved around that horrible shit and bad tropiness, Phil. That's 1/3.
2 episodes.
Now, anything,
2 episodes.
any kind of Shakespeare shit where somebody had to sit through that was like 1/3, a whole fucking act so far has been shit. Complete dog shit. But the other 2/3 of this dramatically long fucking bullshit that I've had to sit through was great.
Leave Shakespeare
Right?
alone.
No. You wouldn't hear another word about that Shakespeare play. You really wouldn't.
So,
right? That's a big difference between Shakespeare and this, right?
No, it is. And just to continue on here, Tommy says that he'll bring him and we'll get to this shelter. So they come back and Ellie knows something's up, and Joel comes to her.
Oh, wait.
She's reading. What was that?
Sorry, but I know I'm harping a little bit, but to that point,
No, keep
when
going.
this is said and done,
Don't hold back, Joe.
When this is all said and done, that's 2 episodes of 9. That's almost a quarter of it, Phil. So right now it's at 1/3, and it's never going to drop below 22.5% or some shit. 23%.
That
Somewhere in
doesn't
there.
mean we can't enjoy the ride. And this was a good episode. But I know we're early on this. I know we're early on this, but I give this episode an 8.5 out of 10.
Like I told you earlier, I enjoyed it. And
Yeah, where do you we're doing
we're
these
early on this.
But what do you? But early on this? No, you'll wait. Okay, you'll
No,
wait.
I'm gonna wait for it.
You'll wait.
You're gonna wait for it.
Brian Dodd
Wait
says.
for it.
Brian Dodd says I won't say his first comment, but the second comment says Joe 2024. And
which one?
You can read it. So she reads some old kid's diary. She talks some shit about like what used to be important to kids, and she's like, "Fuck you! I overheard you." Did we see her in the scene where Joel's talking to Tommy? Listen to them, or did I miss us seeing her spying on them? Because she says she heard him talk about.
Yeah, no, I never saw her in the area.
Right. So how'd she hear it? Was she just outside?
She overheard.
She left the movie.
Went looking for Joel too. I guess.
She left the movie and went looking for Joel, and then
apparently,
and then spied on them, and we didn't see it. I'm just pointing it out because
Joel has taught her master stealth.
I wasn't sure what was going on. Sonic, your boy, says 10 out of 10 for this one. John Haymaker says, Joe 2024, make tropes great again. So I think that's good. So she reads the old kid's diary. She's like, fuck, don't ditch me.
This happens differently. Like, there's a whole thing about, like, she doesn't just...
this scene made me cry. I got teary-eyed.
No. This scene, trust me, I teared up. I teared up.
I did. I teared up watching this right here. I totally did. Did you tear up watching it this time?
When I say it's done differently, she does steal. She steals a horse and leaves. She takes off on her own, and Joel and Tommy go and find her. They get to a house. The raiders that came and attacked earlier attack them again at this house. They fight through it, but right before they attack the house, Joel finds her up in the bedroom. She's reading the diary there, and they have this conversation there, not back in town. So it adds a little bit more to the drama of it.
Mm-hmm.
makes it a little bit more about Ellie and a little bit less about Joel.
Yeah.
Overall, this is an Ellie story, right? No?
I mean, I don't know yet. It seems
Does
like
does she get top billing?
it seems to me that
Doesn't she get
what
top
I've
billing?
seen right now, no.
She isn't. Pedro's name comes up first.
I think.
I'm pretty sure Bella Ramsey's is the first one up.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll
I gotta look again. I gotta watch again. But
open it up. Okay, let's get to a voicemail. This is area code 609. We got our voicemail line still open if you have any voicemails that you want to get in right now. 781-990-8509. We still got a little bit to go with the recap. We're not going anywhere till we're done with this episode, so keep calling on in. 781-990-8509. This is area code 609. And that's a little spoilery. It says we've got a season 2 stuff, but 609. Thank you so much, Xavier, for the voicemail. This is area code. Let's play this one.
Hey guys, we just remember what I wanted to say after I was laughing like an idiot. There's talks about spoiler talks. That you guys are going to be doing a spoiler chat or a spoiler live, whatever they're calling it these days. When can we expect it? Because I would like to see it, but there's been times where you guys do, or Phil, I should say, Phil has done lives without telling us, and I miss it because I'm working or I'm busy with something else, not knowing when it's on. So if we do it, and because there's talks about doing it, you guys talk about doing it, when can we expect it?
Okay, good question. We'll probably do it the week after the season finale, either on a Friday night or Sunday. We'll talk about it, but one of those two, Joe and I will talk about to figure out what's best. But probably the week after the season finale, we'll do one Last of Us spoiler cast.
it's a little bit early to do any kind of to do any kind of a spoiler thing for this season. There's only 3 episodes left. And honestly, I could tell you how the macro ends in a spoiler, but there's not much left past that. We'll tell you the game parts that we miss on the way or that we get on the way.
We'll talk
after this season is over. There's going to be a great time to go through more of what happens in game 2 and what happened in season 1 and how we think it's going to work together, or whatever happens in the game, you'll find out in the spoilers.
So to get back into it a little bit, Luna says, agreed, Joe, the game version has more emotional impact. John Haymaker says, I did not shed a tear. Joseph says, it's so good. And I prefer the Last of Us game to the show, says the General Grievous. I definitely got a little emotional in this scene as they fought. And she's like, fuck you, don't ditch me. She yells,
this was done great.
She yells back at him. She says, I'm not Sarah. He's like, don't say another word. And Ellie says, I'm sorry that you lost your daughter, but I've lost people too. And he says, you don't know what loss is. She says, everyone I ever knew left me or are gone except for you. So don't you leave, because if you leave, I won't be better. I'll just be more scared. And Joel says, I'm not your dad, and you're not my daughter. And tomorrow we're going our separate ways. And I got teary-eyed, Joe.
This is the first time in the show I got teary-eyed. Let me ask you a question, Phil.
Please.
Is this where does this scene rank for you in what we've gotten so far? Is this the best scene, second best scene? Is this the best conversation? As a whole, this moment, what built to it, what caused this to happen, and this moment of emotion between the two characters, what we get from the acting, the writing, all of it, is this compared to other scenes, what's your best scene?
That's a tough question. I'd have to look back at the whole show as a whole, but I would say I thought the scene in a bubble was one of the better scenes of the show, but I don't think it had the lead up it necessarily could have, because I didn't feel the lead up to the build up of them developing this relationship that's going to be awkward at a point that they're going to reach an awkward point to be like, oh, to have this sort of argument.
Yep.
So, but I think
Because
but
what
I
have we
think, but
seen
wait,
that makes
but I think in of itself, the scene was done exceptionally well.
Okay, so I happen to think this is maybe
sponsored by Tito's, and Heineken says something about Joe, just like with your rants, it's been done before, but you still complain about what you don't like, and we still listen. And Luna
I
says,
don't know why, but every time I complain, it's about a new something I don't like, even though it's something I don't like that's been done before, that you've seen before.
and Luna,
it's a big circle.
And Luna says, please schedule the stream for Pacific time too. Sometimes the start time is when I'm still at work. I'd like to see the spoiler stream. So I think we'll probably do it at like 9:30, 10 o'clock or something like that, similar time.
So I want to ask that same
7
question
o'clock West Coast time
to the chat about their favorite scene, and if
7
this was
o'clock.
their most emotional or best scene yet, and as far as like dramatic scenes go and shit like that, and put together and everything. I want to say, Phil, you're absolutely correct, and you're like, they didn't do enough to build it up to make it feel like she would be really this attached to Joel at any point.
No, because they yada the 3 months that they were together and they bonded.
Yep, and everything between
And you can
Boston and Kansas
and
City.
I know you say they do that in a game, but in a show, I would have liked to see them.
But you
flesh.
get more because you get all the action together and the little bits of communication.
Thank you,
between them and
Kyle.
the things that you have to do together.
Thank you, Kyle. I agree with Kyle. Joe B. Cappin.
And the times that they get separated so many times. They get separated a lot because of how things work. They have to get back together.
Kyle makes the point of the evening. Joe B. Cappin. This episode was pretty good.
Come on now. So about this, let me get to my point here about this scene.
Do it.
I think it was the best scene.
Finally make a point, Joe. No, I'm kidding.
In my opinion, this was the best scene. It made me tear up. This was the scene, and this was a great scene in the game too. Like I said earlier, I thought it was a little bit more dramatic the way they went about.
But do you think they did it justice for a television?
I think this scene was the best scene so far in the series. It was done justice, sure, but here's the point. It's exactly like the fucking game scene. The conversation is exactly the fucking same. The way she fucking pushes him is exactly the fucking same. It's the best moment of the fucking TV show, and it's ripped right from the fucking game.
Yeah.
That's my fucking point. That's my fucking point.
Your point is that they should have just ripped everything from the game.
No,
and done it
but
beat
they
for
should have
beat.
tried to keep it a little fucking closer to the chest. They took out half the fucking game so far. They took out every little bit
Did
of
you
fucking
like
action.
Joe?
Every bit
Did
of
you
fucking
like
action.
the fucking scene or not?
I've just said.
You did. You don't sound like you don't sound like you liked it.
It made me cry. I liked it. It was the best
So why are
scene
you
of
so
the whole
angry?
series
So why are you
far.
so angry about it if it was so good?
I'm not angry. I'm telling you, it was ripped right from the fucking game. I'm not angry.
You're
The
angry.
best moment of the show is a moment that's exactly like it was in the game. Right? That tells me something. It should tell everybody something. That moment that made everybody fucking cry is the exact moment, almost fucking frame for frame and word for word from the fucking game. Like even the shit that she's reading out of the diary and shit, is this really what they all had to worry about? She says that shit to him, sitting on a fucking window box, leaning up against the wall, just like she fucking is when he walks into a bedroom. The house is different, the place is different, how they got to that moment is different, but everything in that fucking room is spoken and done almost fucking word for word and exactly the same.
Now, Joe, John Haymaker makes an excellent point that this is actually a Christmas episode.
Sure.
We see the Christmas tree. So the next Joel's in the dark.
There is Christmas at some point in this, I think.
No, this was kind of a Christmas
something like
episode.
that.
Joel's in the dark thinking about his daughter and drunk with the lights out.
Oddly enough.
The next morning, Ellie is ready to go, and there's a knock on the door. It's Tommy. They head out to the stables with no words. Joel is there, and Ellie's like, are you fucking here to say goodbye or some fucking shit or some shit? And fuck you. And he's like, no. You deserve to have a choice. Are you going to go with me or Tommy? I do care about you. And I love Pedro Pascal's acting, but his accent is like intermittingly. Like sometimes he has like, sometimes he does the Texas accent and sometimes he just ignores it. And he's not consistent with it, but it's all right. It's okay. So
Kyle, hold on. Kyle Father to bears, you misinterpret my disappointment or my fervor. Okay, dude.
Your fiver?
I'm upset that they aren't more loyal to the source material, that it isn't told in a better perspective, that they didn't focus more time
Get at him,
on
Kyle.
some of the interaction, more scenes, maybe what they've done, what they've ripped from the game, how they've made them do this, how they've reinterpreted some stuff is good, but like ultimately the best parts, just like you said, are from the game, are like almost mirrored from the game, and sometimes are a mirrored image of the game. House burning on the left instead of house burning on the right. Like little shit like that.
So Joel ends up taking her because she deserves a choice, and she chooses Joel. And even though he says Tommy's probably better for the job, Tommy and Joel say their goodbyes. They hug it out, and he tells him that there's a place there for him. He says, "I sure fucking hope so." And he takes the gun, and he can't help but put some noodling in that Maria took his gun, so he's stealing his gun. He's like, "I know, I already said yes." I think both actors, Pedro and this actor, have good brotherly chemistry. They're believable.
I disagree, Joseph.
What's Joseph say?
Joseph says, I think the whole comparison to the game thing detracts from objective judgments of the show. If the game didn't exist, we would all agree it was great.
Thank you, Joseph.
I wouldn't necessarily agree it was great.
Can you? Do you have?
How can you say it's great? Like,
do you have the ability to compartmentalize like that, Joe? And like look at this show.
That a whole 2-episode story arc with a whole character that really sucks, that's acted pretty poorly, or is written pretty poorly, that is filled with nothing but trope and scene after fucking scene, right down to the almost mustache twirling. Like, that's now a third of what we've watched, dude. Like, none of that fucking Kathleen shit was good or worked. Like, and that was the main story arc behind their Kansas City shit. Like, it doesn't even, Joel and Henry and Sam is almost like an afterthought because it's so glaringly bad, the fucking moments we have to suffer her on our fucking screen. That's a third of your fucking show. That doesn't make this great. That makes this sufferable. That makes this bearable to the good parts, bearable to the good parts that happen to mirror the fucking game almost exactly. But and I'm not saying fully, because yes, no, there is.
He says he's referring to the scene. He's referring to the scene specifically, not the show overall.
Right, and there's who?
Joseph. What? In response to his comment that you read, Joseph says, "I'm referring to the scene specifically, not the show overall." Like the scene with Ellie and Joel having the argument. And to read the comment again, I think the whole.
But you can't. It's exactly the same. That scene, that one scene where they're having the argument, is exactly the same. There is no difference, aside from the place and what happened moments before that and moments after that. Otherwise, in that room, that's the scene. It's exactly the same. There's no comparison. It's exactly the fucking same, that scene. But if you want to compare the game as a whole to the show as a whole, you wouldn't be saying it was great. Yeah. And the scene is great as far as the TV goes because it was great the first time, and it's exactly the same.
So let's continue here and we'll finish off this episode. So I head off. Joel.
They knew it worked. They knew it worked. They knew it was great. You know how they knew? Because they won Game of the Year, and then they won Game of the Decade. Nobody made a scene that was better, or a series of scenes that was
and then
better.
They made a sequel that also won Game of the Year. Okay, right? So then Joel and Ellie.
That's how they knew it was great, and that's why they put it in there.
We go off to Joel and Ellie doing gun practice, sniper practice, and she says a funny line as he's like, squeeze the trigger. She's like, you want to get that fucking gun pregnant or some shit? And again, very funny. Bella Ramsey pulls it off, and Joel shoots it and hits the A in the asshole. And another beautiful set of large Yeah, right in the A. And another
the H.
in the O is the H. Okay, another beautiful set of large area shots. And Ellie is asking questions about Jackson. Were they like the past? Is that how people lived? And he seems to be at this point in the episode, and there's a change in his dynamic in the way he's treating her. He starts to really embrace that paternal figure vibe in this end part of this episode, Joe. He really starts to embrace that fatherly role. And as this is where we get into the whole contract. He's just nicer. Instead of cutting her off, he's answering the questions. He's being warmer with her. He's talking to her. He's indulging her questions a little bit more.
He was answering the questions before.
But he was doing it with more of a
start.
He was doing it with more of a douchebag personality. In this moment, he's doing it in a far nicer, more laid back, accepting, paternal kind of way. You don't think so?
Paternal. That's not just friendship. That's not just like camaraderie. That's not just I'm not mean to you anymore because you're actually not a bad person. But that's paternal. That's what that is.
Joe would
just because he's much older than her and he had a daughter doesn't mean that I'm not an asshole to this child anymore. Doesn't mean paternal. There's nothing here like that says paternal.
I felt
He's barely teaching her shit, and it's been 3 months. You've been on the road with her, and she says, "Yeah, I've learned this shit. I've been listening. I've been watching." Whatever.
You don't feel like there was a change in the dynamic of the way he was treating her.
There was
post the point.
Paternal.
Okay, fine. Warmer with her. Is that better? Is that a better descriptive term?
He's warmed up a bit.
He's warmed up a bit with her.
He's warmed up a bit, but.
Is that accepting of your Joe level?
I just want to make sure we get it straight that either they're not getting the fucking point across, or they're really fucking lazy by
Luna asks
upon us his anxiety attack.
Luna asks a couple, and yes, Puzzle Cat, monkeys make good TV, and we'll get the monkeys in a second. Luna asks a couple questions on the show. Did Joel's paternal seem sudden to you in the show, or did this behavior towards Ellie to make Joe happy?
Of course it did.
Did seem much sudden.
Of course, the warming of Joel.
Listen, Iron Throne. I never had to make.
She just said right in the middle of the last episode, "Oh,
Joel
he just sounds like an asshole all the time."
Yeah, he's not really an asshole, and he never has the makings of a varsity athlete. Iron Throne. Sorry.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the makings of a varsity athlete. Okay, so this is where we get the conversation about the contractors. The music is happy, and it's a happy apocalypse. It's very happy right now. They're talking about football. It's you move in one direction, but it's violent. And this was kind of silly in a way. They did this weird montage thing where suddenly Ellie in dialogue turned to Joel and said, "Wow, that was a really easy 5 days." It was very. That
was a weak time.
Yeah, this was the one.
Right
this was the one bad part of the episode for me, where they just sort of yada, and just the dialogue was bad.
We already put up 3 months later. Can we do that
Joe,
again? No, just have Ellie say.
Joe, this was a really fun 3 hours talking to you right now, but let's move on. It was very much like that, but I didn't hate it necessarily, but it stood out to me because it was kind of silly, and that was an easy 5 days. And they arrive at the college, they talk shit about the college logo, and they head in looking for the Fireflies. They talk about what college really was, partying, class, blah blah blah. He's like, I don't really want the sheep and stuff. I want a ranch, and I don't want a ranch. I want to be a singer. And she's like, "You're gonna have to sing me a song before this is all out." And he's like, "No, whatever." And then suddenly we see monkeys, Joe. Are there monkeys in the game?
Yes.
The monkeys are awesome.
And the talk is maybe they studied so hard they became monkeys.
Yeah.
Like the banter about the monkeys, exactly the same. Most of this dialogue, right from the
game.
The back and forth about football, and but it's violent. Teaching her how to play, all right from the game.
Great, and I will say 100% awesome dialogue. He's like, at least it's not clickers, no fireflies, but maybe they turned into monkeys. Joel looks at the map, and they try to find the area, and they see some people outside, and Joel takes them out the back to try to get to the horses, and things get really tense as Ellie warns.
Those people shoot at him.
Yep, and Ellie warns him
in the game they start shooting at
and
him
in this
through the window.
situation, they get to the horse, and Ellie warns him that a dude's coming, and Joel, who is apparently deballed, but he grabs this dude and he fucking breaks his fucking neck right in front of Ellie, and but is comically stabbed in the process, and she gets him on the horse, and they ride out there just at the last minute from the bad guys showing up as I'll say it, Philtrope police, and as the guys show up at the last minute. And Ellie is in control as she shoots and gives some cover defenses. We get a little bit of what Joe has hinted at, where Ellie seems a little better on the gun than she was necessarily showing to Joel. And we see that they're not being followed, apparently. And Joel falls off his horse like Khal Drogo. And Ellie's like, wake up, I can't do this without you. I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing, as she begs him, please, 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 as sad music fades up. And that's the end of our episode, Joe.
And I want to say, at this point in the game, you want to talk about how much they've downplayed.
Heineken also asks, are you mad that they don't have weapons like they have in the game?
Yes. That's why I keep saying, bashing them with a scissored duct taped bat, or fucking smoke bomb, or a fucking trip bomb, or all of it. I'm upset that he has not MacGyvered any of this shit but a fucking battery. No scourging for supplies, none. 3 months went by. 3 months with a backpack full of what? Like, that's hard living, scrounging for fucking rabbits and game on the fucking road like that. Are you kidding me? But at this point in the game, they have downplayed the action so much. By now, you have killed at least 100 or so people. You have encountered at least 50 to 100 runners, 50 runners or something.
I mean, maybe he did in that.
Killed 3-4 people.
Maybe they did in those 3 months, and we just didn't see it. But we do we do end on a cliffhanger that
which is just going to be another big fucking trope. It's not a cliffhanger.
No,
everybody knows.
It's a cliffhanger in the sense that I think it's going to be a very hard.
But you're going to have to wait 2 weeks. To
2
find
weeks,
out if
yeah,
Joel's
you're going to have to
still
wait
alive.
2 weeks because next week we're going to deal with just Ellie.
And Ellie's going to be on her own, doing shit, and flashing back to when she was.
People are asking where are the Molotov cocktails, where are the.
Yeah, all of it, dude. It's disappointing. It's really disappointing. Like, there's been no danger. One spot of danger in Kansas City. Maybe we should have just gone around the fucking city.
Joe, here's another voicemail. And if anyone wants any last-minute voicemails, now's the time. 781-990-8509.
Why would you go anywhere near any fucking city? Every city is packed with suburbs. Every suburb has fucking...
Slim says there is no danger in this show. It's driving me nuts.
Yep.
Low-key road trip. Slim says there's no need for
road trip. Yep.
There's no need for weapons. There aren't any bad guys in this show. Grievous says a cliffhanger in the end. Kyle says, yeah,
grab your gun.
Joel needs a crowbar with a knife taped to it to break when someone kills him. Let's see. Question. Oh, we already asked that one. Laura deleted the message, so I don't have the one. Cliffhanger for 2 weeks is ridiculous. Left Behind needs to be left behind, says Matt. Heineken says, I want more action, but come on. The shows are about acting and emotions. Yes, Heineken. Don't you like... Aren't the performances good enough to at least entertain you every week, Joe? Are you not entertained?
I think that's what I'm getting to. That, sure, over and over. I don't know how many different ways can I say, sure, yes, acting and emotion is great, but rehashing the same tropes is not emotional for fucking anyone. What's emotional about that? You know exactly what's going to happen. Bad guy twirling their mustache, waiting for good guy to come out. Where's the acting? You're just copying. You're not even acting at that point. You're not even pretending to do something relatively minusculely new. It's not even.
So Joe, here's
Sure, but where's the fucking action, dude? Sure, it's about that. But where's the fucking action? Where is any of it? Where's the tension that is supposed to drive this big fucking panic attack fucking nightmare of Joel's?
you exactly as John
3
Haber.
months later, 5 days later. This was an easy 3 months and an easy 5 days, apparently. But Joel is all panic.
He's having panic attacks, Joe.
Come on now.
What if Lalos showed his emotional side in Better Call Saul? Action, action, action. Joe, I take it you want Michael Bay. Boom, boom, pow, ka-chow, ka-chow, ka-chow,
No.
boom, boom.
Hey, you know what? The game is what the game is, and the game is the thing that it was because of what it is, which is an action, which is a first-person shooter.
Sonic Boy says action in the game.
You take all
show
of that
is for
out
story.
and expect it to be still this amazing thing, and it's not. You've taken out all of the things that
So
cause
what
the
you're
tension.
saying for
And hold on. You take out all of the things that cause tension, and all of the dramatic things that cause tension, you've decided to do the trope version of, instead of actually building tension between characters, which you haven't done. You dialogue us through Henry was a fucking rat, and I'm going to kill him because he did bad shit to my brother, and I have no emotion, and I'm just all revenge to kill him. Like, none of that is tension building. None of that is character driven. That's telling you exactly who she is and what she's thinking so you know her motivation. None of it is building in any way. Right? So, and where's the fucking action? You're trying to do this a big dramatic and character building and storytelling, and you're failing most of the time at it, at least a third of the time. One of your big story arcs, which is 2 episodes fucking long, fail.
Luna agrees with you. Joe says exactly, Joe. You can have both. Both are necessary for it to be The Last of Us. And Puzzle Cat says,
otherwise it's not The Last of Us. This is just like World War Z. That was not World War Z. You put it. This is Friday the 13th TV series. Is it Friday the 13th?
No, it's pretty shitty.
No, it's not. Why did it have that name?
Puzzle Cat.
This is starting to look like that to me. This is half of The Last of Us.
The last
half of us.
The Last of I. The Puzzle Cat says,
five of us.
I smell a Kathleen rant coming. But here we go. One last voicemail for the evening.
Good Snow here with another quick question for Joe. Joe, this is something I was thinking about right now. You always talk about the good stuff, or the stuff that came from, that was implanted from the game onto the show. What is your least favorite clip or moment or whatever that came from the game into the show? Of all the stuff that came from the game onto show, what do you think was your least favorite or done poorly, or you see it and
So yeah, what thing from the game, I guess, was the worst transmitted thing for you so far? And you can adjust it to slight changes maybe and stuff as well.
Dude, the ambush going to Kansas City. It should
You wish they did the Pittsburgh. You wish they did the Pittsburgh thing instead.
Well, I'm talking about the scene where they crash through. The guy comes out and is like, "Oh, help me, help me!" From that moment, to the moment where Ellie crawls back through the hole the second time, right? That's my least favorite because it's very much similar to the game, and there's a couple of shots, like when Joel is actually firing at the 2 guys from inside at them outside. He hits one of them, and the other guy crawls over, scoots over to him, and then scoots across the street, and Joel takes a new position. That shit was all done kind of really fucking good, and that's straight gameplay moment action, straight up, and it's really good. But it's my least favorite because it's not a big enough scene. There's not enough action. And I really took those points to heart in the comments of the video of that episode
Yeah.
that said, we don't want to see John Wick. Joel doesn't need to be John Wick. And yeah, you're right. He's not supposed to be Captain America. Yeah, he kind of fucking is, dudes. Like, really, he honestly fucking is. The more I think about it, like, that's who he is. And he decides in that moment that his daughter dies, not necessarily that he's not going to deal with it emotionally, but he knows exactly how to deal with this world from now on and the fucking people in it. And that's for sure. And that's for damn sure.
The gummy bears were delicious, by the way. And I haven't played the game, but the one I'm going to pick or try to set Joe off a little bit here was the Tess kiss thing. Like,
that's not in the game. That's the end of, like, she dies either way. That was awkward and weird.
Yeah,
and it's one more. It's one more.
It wasn't a trope. That was new. I haven't seen something like that.
Forced upon sexually that against her will before she dies in movies and TV.
Heineken says,
"I'm get you to feel more for it."
Heineken says, "I'm upset that they didn't show Joel looking for pallets to help Ellie get across water like in the game. That's it. I'm not watching anymore."
Like, it's not enough for her to die. She has to be assaulted sexually right beforehand too.
Igor says the excitement's dropping for me 2/3 through the show is just fine, but not outstanding at this point.
Instead of going out like a warrior, you're right, Phil. That might be the worst. Instead of going out like a warrior who was just bitten and taking on a whole bunch of fucking Federal troops that are coming through that door while Joel and Ellie escape through the back and blowing them all up to fucking hell and smithereens and a blazing glory gunfight. No, that doesn't happen. Instead, she stands there and gets sexually assaulted before she dies by a fucking fungus monster.
Lara says, I left
so
it.
You might be right, Phil. You might be right.
Lara says, I left, I tuned back in, and Joe's still going. Yes, he's still going, and we'll be back next week with more silliness. We should probably wrap this up. We've been on for like 3.5 hours now. We appreciate everyone that tuned in tonight. Let's go to our poll and end our poll tonight. Let me see. How do I end it?
I can't wait. I can't wait, General Grievous 19.
Let me end our poll here hard.
Your last comment there, General.
And go into what General will have to say.
I hope they don't leave that shit out.
And we ended our poll. Let's see the results. Should pop in the chat here in a second. And let's see. No, they're not popping in the chat. So we might be screwed. We might have a. We might have a YouTube malfunction here. Not get our.
I got it up. 37% says no. They needed more.
Oh, I got it too. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yep. 37% say no. Needed more than. The question was, with episode 6 done, are 3 episodes enough time to properly tell the rest of the game and the DLC story? 37% of the people that voted. We had over 100 votes, 133 votes tonight. 37% of those people said no, they need more than 9 episodes. 24% yes, for sure. 9 episodes are perfect. I should have said are perfect. Maybe it's going to be tight, says 21%, and 17% says didn't play the game. Fuck you in your question. So most people say they needed more than 9 episodes. Joe, how many ideally now that we're
20.
You think 20? You think
20?
2 10-episode seasons for season 1?
You greedy, stingy fucking producers and executive producers and banks, and fuck you, you greedy ass writers, and fuck you, you greedy ass actors, for making it all go down from 20 episodes down to 10 episodes.
So here we go, Joe.
And I still make shit for a
no, you're doing better than me. Last but least tonight, I already gave my rating tonight.
7.5.
7.5. I give this all this shit, all your fucking asshole ranting, and you're giving this
maybe a 7.
You're still giving this a C plus.
Dude, it made me. I teared up. Now I'm a smush, and I teared a lot of shit.
Oh, you're such a douchebag.
But I teared up. I really enjoyed the shit with the couple with the rabbits. I really enjoyed.
Let's give the live chat, everyone in the live
conversation
chat,
and
give us your ratings as well. Sorry, Jeff.
there was a lot about this. Like I said, when I came in right from the beginning of the podcast, I told you all I liked the episode.
I'm giving this an 8.5. I said it earlier too. I really enjoyed this episode.
But 7 or 7.5, somewhere in between there. I might flop back and forth. Most of my ranting tonight has been on the series as a whole.
Yeah, you're talking more about like the whole
of the whole macro rather than just the episode itself, right? And
let's get in the live chat. Laura says 7. Thank you so much to all of our channel members and our super chatters. We appreciate everyone in the live motherfucking chat, but we appreciate our patrons, our super chatters, and our channel members even more because you guys are fucking amazing. But we appreciate everyone. We got a lot of first timers and new names and new callers tonight too. Thank you everyone that's been tuning in every week. Joe and I will be here every week for this season and next season of The Last of Us every Sunday night after the show airs. We'll also be talking about some other shows this year. We mentioned fucking what am I blanking on the name now? The show, the Ben Stiller show. Why can't I think of it? Severance. We'll be talking about Severance, but we'll also be talking about some other shows. Joe and I are going to get back to talking about some classic series and movies as well. Get his ass over here, do some live movie watches again and some fun silliness. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Let's get in the live chat and see how people. Heineken says, I give the show a 7 and Joe a 9.5 for ranting tonight. Igor, this was a storm of rants, as they were saying earlier. Puzzle Cat gives it an 8. Igor gives it a 9. Brian gives it a 10. Luna gives it a 7. Lara gives it a 7 as well. Igor gives it a 7.5. Slim gives a 3 to 5 as a 4 and a 10. Unit says 7 out of 10. Thank you, Unit. This is the first time I think I've seen your name in the live chat. Thank you so much for joining in the fun tonight. I hope you join in every week. We really do appreciate all of you guys that have joined in tonight. Joe, thank you so much. It's good talking to you. Good getting to hang out with you. Good. Thank goodness that you drank for the first time in the year and a half. It's been too long.
It's been a long time.
Does this just make you want to actually go out and drink again?
No.
No. But we do need to go out eventually too. Maud Mary gives it a 6. For Joe Rants, we get a 9.7. General Gruber says thank you for the streams. Fernandez gives a 6. Fernandez was not feeling this episode tonight. Fernandez T, thank you so much, my friend. Let me get the music up.
Yeah, I understand. Here's the thing. Even though I give it the 7.5, or I should say 7.5, 7. Even though I gave it that, right?
Mara gives it a 9.
I understand these low 6s far more than I understand the 8s and 9s.
Really?
Honestly, yes. I absolutely do.
So you're more dubious about my 8.5 than you are about some of the people that are giving it 6s?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Luna says, thanks for keeping it a real. Lara says, Joe gets a 10. Enjoying it. Enjoy it. Phil gets a 69. Ooh, thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that. That makes things fun. Definitely does.
From you or one of the bears?
I don't know. Either way, it's going to be a good time, Joe.
Ouch.
Oh, yes. I'll take it. Bear hug, man. Pain and pleasure for me are all in the same, my friend. Thank you so much. Let's get those hearts up. Let's get those flying hearts. What is it, like an extra emoji you can just like throw up there? We appreciate it. Thank you guys for helping us try out a new feature tonight. Everyone in the live chat, you guys did amazing. As much as it's fun for Joe and I to talk, it's you guys in the live motherfucking chat make this show. Yeah, you make it the most fun.
It would just be me talking to Phil otherwise.
It would. I mean, we do that.
There would be no fun.
No, we don't have fun when we talk to each other. Only when you guys are here, really. Big Daddy, who's not our Big Daddy, but a different Big Daddy, says 7 out of 10. Laura says, I agree with Joe. He's telling some truths. Don't encourage him, Laura. Only some. Knight Fernandez, thank you, my friend. Thank you to everyone. Talk to you guys next time. Talk to you next week. Maybe I might be on midweek doing something, but Joe and I will definitely be on. Actually, not this week. This week's kind of fucked for me. Talk to you guys next time. Peace.
Toast to everybody.
Wow. This is so fucking.